night, screens glowing blue. Got the facts in my headlights. Commonwealth tripping, but the truth stay calm. Morrissey and 𝗲𝗲𝗺𝗺, I'ma read them like Psalms. KP throwing shade from a broke down porch, but the files in my lap like a flame to a torch. I don't raise my voice, I just let the game speak. Steady with the grind while the crooked run weak. We just riding slow, gliding, paper stacking in the breeze. Turn the system up, let the whole town see. No mask on my face, no fear in my lane. I'ma shine that light on the ones bringing shame. From the courtrooms down to the city blocks, they can't hide from the truth, cause the truth don't stop. We just try to slow grind. Midnight oil burning, pen hit the pad slow. Every word cut clean like the rims on the 𝗃𝗍𝗂. From Boston to Brockton, the whispers all hum. Turtleboys riding in the reckoning gon' come. 𝗲𝗍𝗺 in the back room, Morrissey on the phone, trying to twist the narrative, but they can't postpone. I'm just sipping on the facts while the city play pretend. Truth got no curfew, I'ma run it to the end. See, this ain't about fame, this about that long game. You can duck, you can weave, but the truth still call your name. We just riding slow, gliding, paper stacking in the breeze. Turn the system up, let the whole town see. No mask on my face, no fear in my lane. I'ma shine that light on the ones bringing shame. From the courtrooms down to the city blocks, they can't hide from the truth, cause the truth don't stop. We just riding slow, gliding. We just riding slow, gliding, paper stacking in the breeze. Turn the system up, let the whole town see. No mask on my face, no fear in my lane. I'ma shine that light on the ones bringing shame. From the courtrooms down to the city blocks, they can't hide from the truth, cause the truth don't stop. We just riding slow, gliding. We just roll down to the city blocks. We just riding slow, gliding.
My name's Aidan Kearney,
known online as
Turtleboy, and is a senior editor for
TBDailyNews.com.
They call me
Dr. Turtleboy.
It's my preferred pronoun. Daddy.
What's up, Daddy?
Journalism Jesus. 𝗃𝗄𝗏 Kearney.
The one and only Turtleboy.
Turtleboy.
What's up, Slick?
The doctor is here.
This guy's a bad motherfucker.
That's quite the intro.
I've broken a lot of major stories. I've been doing it for about 11 years. I used to be a high school teacher.
Turtleboy has changed a lot over the years. I was once a blogger, but now I'm much more accurately known as an award-winning journalist, a satirist, and an activist. Boom!
They're screaming your name here.
You're the crowd daddy.
Crazy.
People either love me or hate me.
Listen, Turtle, all right?
But either way, they're watching.
Don't make such fun of the criminal justice system.
Stop it. I'm never gonna stop. This fight's just getting started. Now let's get this party started. This one. No. Is that working? Does that work? It might be a little echoey. How about this one? Testing. All right, that one works okay. How about the speaker? Speaker default, okay. God damn it. How about this one? Not as good. What do you guys like more? I know. I'm getting the text. Everyone's like, no sound. It's got to be some sound. Someone can hear me. Motherfucker. Okay. We're gonna do a vote here about what microphone to go with. This is microphone 1. All right. You tell me. We're gonna do a vote. All right. Let me pull it up in the chat to go what microphone to go with. All right. This is classic Turtleboy, by the way. Just everything's fucked up. I moved the studio over to back to my place, and of course the fucking mic. I don't know what's happening when the mic's not working, but everything's fucked up. All right, we're gonna start a poll. Which mic is better? All right, 1 or 2. Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick little poll here. I'm gonna do 2 mic checks. You tell me which one is better. Okay, this one is mic 1. All right. This one is mic 2. Mic 2. Mic 1. All right. Vote. Let's see what you guys vote again. I'll do it again. Ready? So this one, with the one I'm on right now, is mic 1. This one is mic 2. All right. Let's see what people say. 1 or 2. I'll leave it up to the chat. There's like a poll. You guys don't have to write 1 or 2 in the chat. You can vote. You can like vote on it. Okay, mic 1 has 2/3 of the vote. So I think we're gonna go with mic 1. All right, we'll go with that. Well, that worked itself out, didn't it? Now the background's all fucked up, which was okay before. Oh, what's this side? This is the dark side. Hold on. That works, right? Yeah, nice. That's crisp. Excellent. Nice. It only took us 10 minutes to get started. 9:12, record time. You guys can hear? Oh, motherfucker. How am I disappearing into the screen? Some people are saying 2. Now you like mic 2? Well, mic 1 won by a lot. So we're going with mic 1. All right. Anyway, welcome, guys, to the live show here. My name is Aidan Kearney. I'm your fearless host here at Turtleboy. You might recognize me from Lifetime movies, where I introduced myself as the fearless host there. That guy's way cooler than me, though. That guy's like really cool. And, welcome new Lifetime Turtle Riders. Holy shit, Turtle Riders. I don't know if I've ever said that. But, oh, motherfucker, I'm disappearing. Hold on. What is going on with this? No. Can we find a happy medium? Some sort of happy medium here. What the fuck? Oh, this one turned off completely. That's good enough. We'll go with that. All right. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Aidan Kearney. I am the host of this here program. You can call me a variety of nicknames if you like, up to and including, I forgot to do the Rumble. Fuck. I didn't set the Rumble up. I don't think it's on Twitter. I'm all over the place tonight. But I was teaching my kids to play chess. I got a little background, like actual daddy issues. But you can call me 𝗃𝗃 Kearney, my true crime name. You can call me Journalism Jesus, my spiritual name. You can call me 𝗵𝗿𝗲𝗺. It's my 𝗄𝗲𝗄𝗃 name. You can call me Daddy if you'd like. Oh no, we do Daddy at the end. We do Turtleboy, Uncle Turtleboy. I prefer Dr. Turtleboy because of Judd Welch's Doctor, so am I. You can call me Daddy if you'd like. For some people that might be weird. For others, it might be fun, flirtatious, even sexual. All right, we can do all different, derivatives of Daddy, such as, up to and including, but not limited to, Theater Daddy, Crowd Daddy, Brow Daddy, Daytime Daddy, Media Daddy, Saint Daddy, or, of course, Fridge Daddy, or any appliance daddy will do right at this point. I've christened all the appliances now. So anyway, I don't care what you call me. Just be here every Tuesday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. sharp. And make sure you smash that subscribe button for me, hook it up, and hit the notification bell. And make sure you tune in all the time, and we'll have a great time. We get here, we do daytime, little bus stop lives in the morning. We had over 2,500 people watching my bus stop live this morning. And it's just a great time here. So anyway, guys, as I was saying, we are going to get to a lot of good stuff tonight. But first, if you guys would like, you can, what was I going to say? Motherfucker, now this is going to annoy me. That little thing in the corner there. That worked. Okay. If you guys want to have your messages read out loud to the class tonight, you can click at the link at the top for something called Turtle Chat. When you do that, you can pay whatever you want, say whatever you want, and I will read your message out loud to the class. Or you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtleboy, and we can do it that way. Yeah. So, let me read some Turtle Chats here. Let's get started. Let's see what we have. We have Emily sends $10, goes, "What's up, Doc? What a great start to the week for you. So happy to see Alan giving you your flowers and applaud your journalism and advocacy for Karen Reed. You deserve it. 2 quick questions about your case. Is the Fed dump automatic discovery for you?" No, I think we have to ask for it, or maybe sometimes they give it to us. Sometimes we have to ask. Since there's a lot of discrediting evidence of many of the witnesses, wouldn't that be exculpatory? Did you ever get or ask for discovery regarding this new KP officer that was talked about in Tully's affidavit? Yes, they do have an officer with those initials that they pulled out of their ass. So who knows if that's the one they're referring to, but they have plausible deniability for that. Anything to prove it's that guy Pi, the Pi guy, Pi. Anything to prove that he was an actual officer surveilling your house or your kids? No, it's a trust me, bro situation. So thank you for that one, and I appreciate it. We're going to get all into the flowers tonight, so thank you very much, Emily. Next up, we have Kristen Melendi sends $10, goes, "Take a shot when Turtleboy has audio problems." You're going to be pissed drunk tonight if you do that, so thank you very much for that. Celine sends $28 and says, "Cheers to 28 days of being drama-free." Is that how long it's been? Wow. Established on 12/17/2025, 2026 is your year to break the change that bond you. Sincerely, Celine from Seattle. And, when most people go drama-free, they don't have the type of drama temptation that I've had, Who's Ethel? Who's Ethel? Any new Ethels in the chat? Turtleboy is not a refrigerator repairman. Oh, yes, I am. The problem with the fridges, Nurse Kim, is I fix them, and then they're broken again next week. I get the call back, and I'm like, "You got to come fix my fridge again. Okay. I think something's up. I don't know if they're unplugging it. I get there, and I'm like, "You just unplugged it. You just got to plug it back in." "Oh, thank you, Fridge Daddy. While you're here, and there we go. And then do my thing. But besides that, just fix your own goddamn fridge if you don't like it. Anyway, so thank you very much. Oh, Ethel's in a wheelchair. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that wouldn't work out. You fix your own fridge there, Ethel. Okay, thank you. All right, next. But yeah, 28 days drama-free. When most people go drama-free, they don't have the type of temptation that I have. I have, it's everywhere. It's not today, Satan. It's been a lot of it. And there's been teetering, there's been some teetering. Emily C has been there for me the whole way. You get a pass, you get a hall pass for the drama-free when it comes to the antis. You can go, that doesn't apply to them. You're allowed to be like, "Oh, fuck you guys, piece of shit." You get to do the whole thing with them. You get to rip into Julie Carpenter as much as you want. You know what I mean? All these people. That's perfectly acceptable, just to be clear. It only applies to people who believe Karen Reed's innocent. That's the only people that drama-free applies to. And, you know, again, you try doing this with all this drama surrounding you. I've done a hell of a job, if I got to be honest with you, like biting my tongue, pleasing everybody, trying to keep focusing on my hearing, which is coming up in T-10 days. And I hope to see a lot of you guys there. January 23rd, Suffolk Superior Court, downtown Boston. I know it's not the easiest to get to, but yes, and happy birthday. I think it was yesterday, right? Her birthday. Happy birthday, 40th birthday to Nurse Kim. You don't look a day over 29. I appreciate that. And also thank you to my new gifted memberships. We have Jeannie B has joined, become a member. You get access to the Friday stream, right? Members only stream. That'd be cool. But yeah, so it's going to be a good time. Anyway, let's get back to this. Joellen sends $50, goes, LG is winning me over. I loved Allen's remarks in Free Turtleboy. My Packers lost, go Bills. Your Packers fucking bombed. First of all, they blew it. But that's just what they've been doing for a long time now. Ever since 2010, you know, they've been blowing shit to the Bears. So I don't think you guys are really going anywhere this year at 7 losses. But you know, you say go Bills, I say go Patriots. And the real question, I mean, it's gonna be a real battle, man. It's gonna be a real battle in the AFC this year. Any one of the, like, you look at the Vegas odds, any one of those 4 teams, the Houston Texans are barely the underdog of the 4. We're only like 3-point favorites against them. If we win, then that's the question. Like, first of all, it's no easy one. I wanted the Steelers to win bad last night because Steelers fucking suck. And like, I want to go against Texans. I mean, I don't want to go against Texans. If I'll play the Texans, we'll beat the Texans, but the Steelers, 0.0% chance we lose to the Steelers. This is never going to happen. Like, especially after we lost to them in a regular season and fumbled 4 times. No fucking way. I feel more confident beating the Steelers than I do any other team in the NFL. Like, pick the Cardinals, the freaking Titans, the Steelers. No fucking way we're losing to them. Absolutely not. So I wanted them to win, but they suck, and that's the problem with the Steelers. So, and they should fire Tomlin because he's just mediocre. You're always going to be like the Steeler fans with that guy as your coach. Anyway, so like, I wanted them, but we got the Texans, and they have one fuck of a defense. So I'll tell you that much. Like Willie Anderson, he's a mean guy, and Danielle Hunter, and they're fun. They're crazy. So they're going to give Will Campbell and company a run for their money. But you know, Drake May is no Aaron Rodgers. Like, he is much better. He is much better, and he can move in the pocket. And I just have a feeling, man, I think we're going to win. And the question then is, who do you want the next week? Because I think most of us would say Denver, right? We'd rather have the Broncos because Josh Allen's really the only one left in the playoffs besides Matthew Stafford, at least in the AFC, that has like legitimate playoff experience. Never made a Super Bowl or won one, obviously, but made AFC championships before, won the MVP. You know, and he just beat us. Every year he beats us. And you're like, well, you know, but we'd be home against Buffalo. On the other hand, you go up against Denver, inexperienced, you got to go on the road. And I'm not afraid of Bo Nix. I'm not afraid of Bo Nix like I am of Josh Daniels. You know, he doesn't bring it. You know, he doesn't bring it. So anyway, yeah, today, by the way, was supposed to be, Cosgrove had till the end of the day to get filings to us and didn't do it. He did not do it. So he didn't do it. And I guess, you know, he's not going to reply to our Sir reply or whatever. You know, and we'll see if he tries passing it in tomorrow. We'll see if this new judge Belizos is a man of his word and sticks to the fact that, you know, like, you got to get shit on time. Sorry, pal. You know, this guy's so used to passing shit in late. We'll see. You know, as for this comment that the LG is winning me over thing, I mean, I credit where credit's due, man. Her Twitter's been fucking on fire. I mean, what are you going to say? It's been on fire. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, just roasting motherfuckers. And let me see if I could find that. Like, she's got the receipts, man. People are like, and she made fucking her thing made the Emily the Karen Reed interview. Her thing about they asked Karen Reed about the voodoo dolls. That came from her. That was in the fucking court filing. Like that was we put that in our court filing. To Jennifer McCabe, we have a witness who says that Jennifer McCabe has a voodoo doll of me and Karen Reed in her house. Right? That made the fucking Karen Reed interview. I don't even know if Karen Reed had an answer for that. We're going to go back and watch. Like, that's crazy. And, I think it's, bro, what are you going to say? I mean, like, I never in a million years thought we would be in this position where I'm like, yeah, go Grant and go Lindsay. Like, I'm watching this and I'm like, well, you know what I mean? It's just like, what? Like, you rewind the clock 6 months ago and you tell me this shit. And I'm like, no fucking way. But it's like, here we are. Like, crazy shit happens, man. It's just crazy shit happens in this verse. But anyway, it's just like, yeah, I mean, what are you going to say? She spits facts. What are you going to say? It's like the swingers question. Yeah. So we got to get to some good shit there. We're going to get to it. So, she said she didn't believe it. Karen Reed said, we'll get to that. I got to go back and watch it. All right. Next. Where are we at here? Bob Brown sends $10, goes, Turtleboy, are you considering asking BLT to design your studio and fix your technical problems? I mean, that's the only thing he was good at. It was, and that's not drama free. I mean, BLT is the one probably after, Crawford, who's just, I mean, Crawford, you can't even respond to. He needs help. But like, and that's not drama to say that, like, he needs help. Like, somebody should get him. I'm worried about him, professional advice. But BLT is just, he was like, he got by on being like the nice guy. You know what I mean? That's what BLT's thing was. And like, even when the Jess Machado shit went down with him, I felt bad because I'm like, he's a nice guy. He's nice. Like, how can I be mad at BLT? He gave me the YouTube plaque thing there. You know what I mean? But he's real sassy now. He's like he does drama like all the time now. Like, all of a sudden it's like, really, BLT? Okay. Eventually I'm going to relapse, right? Okay. We'll see. I think he should go back to being the nice guy. I think that's what he should do, but we'll find out. Next. Laura sends $10, goes, glad you had a great time at Hooters. Seems like you were with a great bunch, especially the girl with the blondish hair. Yeah, I have no comment on that because, we're just out having a good time. People can think what they want, but, it's like, I shouldn't be afraid to take a picture in public. It's like one of those, like, I can't take a picture in public because people are going to speculate and be like, who's this person, and study them and, make a fake Twitter account for them. Like some people have been known to do, but yeah, well, thank you. We had a great time at Hooters. Hooters is a heck of a time. And the waitress was great and the wings are great. And it was just fantastic. So thank you very much. All right. Next. Well, yeah, I mean, he said he left the studio because you were attacking him. What? No, he didn't say that. No, don't be silly. Oh, the list is never wrong about anything, but like, I'm not relapsing. I gave him good advice. I'm like, go back to the bedroom. That's vintage. You know what I mean? That's like, it doesn't come across as like Hollywood. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, ooh, look at me. I'm so successful. I have a studio and a suit. And I told him this. So this is not drama. This is like my advice. And like, is the pocket squares and the suit. And it's just like, and I'm glad he was able to grow a full head of natural hair. That was great to see that. I was really happy for him. But it's like, people like the guy with the backwards hat in the bedroom, kind of angled to the side there. Like, that was unique. Like, a lot of popular streamers do that. Have that look, just like kind of in their bedroom look. Who's that crazy liberal guy? Hasanabi? I mean, isn't that what he does? He just sits in his bedroom and talks and streams. And there's a certain, what's the word for that? Like mystique, or I don't know, like vintageness of it all. That's what people want. People don't want sellout. They don't want that. That was just my opinion, and I thought I thought it was good, All right, next. Lexi sends $5, says, don't read out loud. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree with everything you said there. Yeah, there's one, certain individuals that even if you send in turtle chats, I'm not going to read them out loud. I will read them quietly, but I will not read them out loud because they don't get to be part of the content, period. John sends $5, goes, Nick Rocco has been promoting Adam 𝗍𝗃 for DA. So presumably that is Karen's choice as well. I think that Karen has actually endorsed 𝗍𝗃, I believe. I think it's pronounced 𝗍𝗃. I think most agree that 𝗍𝗃 is the best candidate. Yeah, he certainly is. He's the most polished. I mean, he's the guy. He's got all the momentum, etc. However, Mike Crawford is still promoting 𝗄𝗏 Perkins for DA. Is that considered dividing the movement? That's a good question. That's a good question. Is that, yeah, you're right. She was very pretty. She was. I didn't realize. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. So anyway, yeah, 𝗄𝗏 Perkins. I mean, she seems like a nice lady, but she's what Donald Trump would call, like what Jeb Bush, low energy, right? And like, she's okay. She's cool, I guess. She's not Michael Morrissey, but we got options now. We got options. Michael Morrissey's not running again. Michael Morrissey's done. If you guys missed it, Michael Morrissey is not running for re-election. And the big reason I was like going for 𝗄𝗏 Perkins early on was because I just wanted to beat Michael Morrissey. But now Michael Morrissey's gone. Yeah, politics is all drama. So does that mean we can't talk about politics? No, of course you can. So we're going to talk politics real quick. And the fact of the matter is that a Democrat is going to win in Norfolk County, right? Like a Republican cannot win because it's Massachusetts. So you can accept that. So the winner of the Democratic primary will win. And I mean, unless somebody really came along, like a Charlie Baker type, like something like that, like a Rhino, that's the only people can win. So it would have to be, so it's going to be 𝗍𝗃 probably or 𝗄𝗏 Perkins. And how can you not go for 𝗍𝗃? Like 𝗄𝗏 Perkins, nice lady and all, low energy. And, Crawford had this tweet today, and we can bring this up because it's politics. And I did respond to Crawford for the first time. And this does not count as I made a last minute judgment decision. And I decided this was not whatchamacallit. Hold on. Yes, I can. So this is, hold on. I got to find the Crawford tweet. That I responded to. Hold on. I'm going to find it. All right. We got a lot of likes on this. Oh, he took it down? He took down his fucking post? Are you kidding me? This guy's such, oh my God. See, I'm not that, if I was like, this guy's such a clown, that would be drama. I'll give you that. I'm not going to say that. If I was like, this guy's such a pussy, I would not say that. He has taken it down. Okay. But the gist of it was, actually, I probably screenshotted it. What am I screenshot crazy shit. I got to have it. It's got to be on here somewhere. Nope. 𝗃𝗏. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we got, all right. This is Crawford's tweet. He says, I'm skeptical about Adam 𝗍𝗃. Unlike Karen and her dad and most of my supporters, because he hasn't responded to any requests by FKR outlets for an interview like 𝗄𝗏 Perkins has repeatedly. Okay. We need to highlight everything wrong with this tweet real quick. Okay. And again, this does not count as drama because this is politics. Okay. It's politics. But we're entering, because it's like you can hate on people in the political world and it doesn't count as drama, right? Because it's like real life. Like, it's like, it's just nothing is serious, nothing personal. Like, you can say nasty shit in political elections. And then at the end, you like have a beer and you shake hands and whatever, All right, let me pull this up. All right. So this is Crawford's tweet. All right. So he says, I'm skeptical about Adam 𝗫𝗍, unlike Karen and her dad and most of my supporters. Okay, stop right there. Unlike Karen and my dad and most of his supporters. So he's being like, I'm going against the Reed family. I was told you can't do that. I was told that was like drama if you're being disloyal to Karen if you do that. See, I'm not going against the Reed family. I'm with them. I'm with her. As in Karen Reed. I'm with her. I don't dare ever criticize Karen Reed. I would never go for the candidate that she's not endorsing. Okay. So, and he's acting like here, like kind of like they're like sitting around a table smoking pipes, being like, who are we going to endorse? And like, it doesn't really matter that much, Mike. Okay. Then he goes on to say, so I'm skeptical because he hasn't responded to any requests by FKR outlets. What the fuck is an FKR outlet? What is that? What are we doing here? FKR outlets? What is that? We are not media stations. It's a fucking YouTube channel, guys. We're not that important. We're like, I'm kind of important, but like besides that, politically, we're not that important. All right. I got 4,868 people watching on YouTube right now. And I don't know how many you live in Norfolk County. Probably not that many. Very small percentage. So like it's not that influential. Okay. That ain't gonna win the election. It's just not gonna happen. So what is an FKR outlet? Like, what does that mean? We have some sort of like conglomerate of channels here that are like, really, you got to do the rounds on. Like, we're not, I'm here to say, as part of this whole FKR, whatever, we're not that important. Okay. We're just not. And then he says that any request by FKR outlets for an interview with 𝗄𝗏 Perkins she has responded to 𝗄𝗏 Perkins repeatedly. And quite frankly, I mean, that's cool to come on once and throw you a bone. But if you kind of keep going on, and this is not a shot at Mike, I'm just being political here. If you keep going on Crawford's show, or even my show, or any of these YouTube shows, like I kind of look at you as like, are you really that serious of a candidate that you're like on YouTube? Like, I feel like a serious candidate is doing a serious political campaign. Like, being on YouTube is not serious. It's not that, like, you could do it once as like a cool little stunt, but like, this ain't going to win you the election. If you think coming on YouTube is going to win you the election, you're dead wrong. You win elections by going to nursing homes, schools, VFWs, various other civic organizations. I don't know, shit like that. Like, that's how campaigns work. You go and you talk to groups of 50 people at a time. You hold fundraisers in person. Like, that's how you go door knocking, leaflets. That's how you win campaigns. You don't win like this is not drama, but like, how full of yourself do you have to be to think that like, you owe me coming on my show? Like, he should, why the fuck would Adam 𝗫𝗍 go on that show? I want a DA who's kind of above that. I don't want I've had political candidates come on my show before. You know what they have in common? Every single one of them has lost. All of them. I've never had a winning candidate come on here. I've endorsed political candidates. I've never won, ever. None of my guys have ever won, ever. Because this is like a fun show. It's not like serious, okay? It's not like real, like political shit. Like if you like accept an invitation to come on my show, I'm kind of skeptical of how serious you are as like a candidate. And I feel the same way about, I'm kind of glad that 𝗫𝗏 would turn down going on Crawford's show, right? Or any shows on these YouTubes, because it's not that, it's like, I want a serious grown-up candidate. I don't want a YouTube candidate. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel about that. And so he goes on to say, yes, he probably doesn't need us. But yet when you refuse to speak to citizens, wherever they are, no, okay, we're going to get to that. And you haven't been elected yet, reminds me of Michael Morrissey. He's comparing the most corrupt district attorney in the country, who covers up murders of Sandra Birchmore, of John O'Keefe, who puts journalists in jail. He's comparing Adam 𝗫𝗏 to him because he won't come on his show. Okay. If you are like this during a campaign, how will you be in office? Yeah, he's like, yeah, he's probably not going to come on your show when he's in office either. Sorry. Because he's like being a DA and shit. He's got to be a little above it. The feds are not known for a lot of transparency or public disclosures. So now he's shitting on him for being a Fed, as if that's a bad thing now. So my response to this on the Twitch live was as follows. I said the vast majority of your audience does not live in Norfolk County and cannot vote for him. That's the most important part. Like, I don't know what percentage of my audience is from Norfolk County. I would guess probably a third of you are from Massachusetts. I'm going to do a poll right now and find out. Where are you guys from? Okay, let's do a little poll. Shall we? Make this fun, interactive. All right. Poll. All right. Are you from Massachusetts is my first question. That is my first poll question. Are you from Massachusetts? Let's see what percentage the audience is. We have 300 votes, 500 votes almost now, and 2/3 of you are not. I almost got that exactly right. About 1/3 of you is from Massachusetts. Now, we don't need to do a second poll on this, but I would guess there's like 14 counties in Massachusetts. So let's say, let's be generously speaking here, 10% of that 33% is from Norfolk County. That's like 3% of people watching right now are from Norfolk County. So like, no, our audience is not a Norfolk County audience, which is the only audience you need to win. Okay. You have to be from one of those 28 towns in Norfolk County. You guys think I can name them right now? Do you think I can name the towns of Norfolk County without looking? I'm not going to look at the chat either. You guys think I can do it? Should we do it? I'm going to do it right now. I think there's 20. Just tell me how many tell me how many towns there are in Norfolk County. That's what I need to know right now. How many towns are in Norfolk County? That's all I need to know. And then I will name them all. I bet you I can do it. I bet you I can do it. Somebody Google that for me real quick. How many, do I have to Google this myself? How many towns are in Norfolk County, Mass? There are 28 communities. Okay, so 28. So one city. Okay, there's 28. All right, you guys ready for this? Let's do it. No looking. I'm not looking at the chat. Let's see if we can do it. Ready? How fast can I name them? 𝗀𝗏𝗃, which is something out in Norfolk County. Weymouth, Braintree, Quincy, Avon, Holbrook, Randolph, Milton, Dedham, Canton, Stoughton, Sharon. What are we up to? 12? Brookline, Wellesley, Needham, Dover, Walpole, Foxborough. We're up to 18. I got 10 more. Dover, Foxborough, okay. Westwood, Norwood, They're up to 20. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. Getting nervous here. Okay. So we're up to 20. We need 8 more. Can we do it? Can we do it? Medfield. Medway. Millis. Norfolk. There's a town called Norfolk. 24. We got 4 to go. 4 to go. Bellingham. 25. Franklin. 26. Rentham. 27. And Plainville. 28. Those are the 28 towns of Norfolk County. Did I get them all right? I think I got them all right. I didn't even look at a map. I swear I didn't look at the chat once. Got all 28. All 28 of those are in Norfolk County, right? Mansfield is Bristol County. Natick is Middlesex County. Get out of my face with that. Newton's Middlesex County. Hingham is Plymouth County. I got it. I didn't even have to look at the map. That's how well I know fucking Norfolk County. I can name every fucking town without even looking at a map. I can just name them all because I have them in my head where they all are. I know geography wise. Where I'm really good with geography. That was like I used to win geography bees and shit when I was a kid. That was like my strength. All right. So anyway, next. So yeah, I think we're done there with yeah. So yeah, I ended the tweet by politely telling him that real elections are not won or lost on YouTube. If they were, I wouldn't have gotten smoked. I ran for school committee and lost. Additionally, your recent online behavior could be a turnoff. This isn't drama. It's just some professional advice. I'm just saying, like, you can't be going online all day, having temper tantrums and talking about turtles and just going on rants about the glare and all this shit and drama and acting childish and then be like, yeah, and then Mr. Serious DA candidate, come on my show and let's have like a serious conversation. No, I mean, I'm just giving professional advice to a friend. That's all I'm doing. So there we go. Next. Yeah, I did that fast. I was impressive. I impressed myself. That was good. Next. Montana Masshole sends $5, goes, please wish my friend Lisa in the 508 a happy 48th birthday today. Happy birthday, Lisa. She's hosting a watch party with the buffalo chicken dip, and the shower needs fixing. Do you do showers or fridges? Oh, I do showers. You better believe I fucking do showers. I fix showers like you never believed it before, especially the pipes, everything in there. It's wet. It's a great time. I'm really good at it. So thank you very much. Thank you. Next. Becca sends $50, says, you're the man, and AJ, let everyone know it. Stay drama free. I am because of you guys. You guys get me through the drama. So thank you very, very much. I appreciate that, Becca Daisy. Roasted Bean sends $25 and says, to me, you are and always have been bona fide, the real deal, genuinely impressive, authentic, or legitimately cool. You have an undeniable quality status, a bona fide legend. And let's see, a bona fide legend. Here's a little to pay your lawyers. And believe me, I could definitely use that. So thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. All right, let's see if we have any more here. We do have a couple. And I'm bringing this up too. All right, next. Morrissey's clogged artery sends $10, goes, I'm thinking that the swingers rumor that Karen talked about is all because of Nagel. She could turn any wife into a swinger, free Turtleboy. Funny story about that. When I first spoke with Karen I didn't speak with Karen, I spoke with Natalie on April 17th, 2023, when I was writing that story. One of the things that Karen relayed through Natalie was that there were rumors about swinging. And I did not put that in my original reporting. I made some comments in there about how strange it was that Jennifer McCabe seemed more interested in protecting Brian Albert than Nicole Albert did. But I never, knew that as a fact. So that was one of the things that was brought up in the interview. Lucy Fair sends $5, goes, my friend was complaining about her coworkers for the millionth time, and I didn't know what to say. So I said, fuck them, no ass bitches. That is the best response. Fuck her, no ass bitch. The Chico is so mad about it. He just sits every time he watches TV or something. or he goes out in public and he just sees a woman and he like looks at them. And if they don't have like a nice ass, he just like, fuck her, no ass bitch. Fuck her, no ass bitch. Like he just gets so offended by not having a nice ass. Like if Proctor had responded to his pal and said, oh, what does she look? Is she a smoke? Her face is okay, but man, she got a nice dumper. Let me show you. She has a nice ass on her on that one. What did Chico say? Would he be like, maybe she didn't do it. Maybe she didn't do it. Because a woman with a nice fat ass like that is not going to commit murder. No fucking way. Only no-ass bitches do that. Fuck her, no-ass bitch. Typical no-ass bitch. Typical. Thank you. Next. But you guys should all start doing that. Start calling every time you get mad at someone, just call them a no-ass bitch. No-ass bitch. But be real offended by the fact that they have no ass. Thank you. Nicole sends $10, goes, hey, Daddy, first things first, we need to invest in an IT person. Yeah, tell me about that. Given the divorce, I propose we change the FKR Daddy calendar to a Turtleboy calendar featuring the famous fridge, Crowd Daddy, etc. Also, in honor of your birthday month, we need to get a birthday suit photo showing the Intimidator. Jesus Christ. I have a feeling it would sell out immediately. Love you. I mean, what you're suggesting is, I might as well start an OnlyFans if I'm going to do that. And I once you do that, there's no coming back. You know what I mean? I'm not ready to do that yet. So, we'll hold off on that. Yeah, I don't care how much money I can make doing that. I'm not doing it. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's a good thought, though. I'm always open for a good business idea. And I think, obviously, I think that might sell more than expected. But, I still doesn't mean I should do it. Just because you can make money doesn't mean you should do it, Next, Linda sends $5. Stop it. Stop fucking arousing me during the show. Stop it. $5 from Linda says, hey, Dr. Daddy, so happy AJ gave you the recognition and appreciation that you deserve. When your charges are all gone and behind you, come visit our beautiful island of Newfoundland, Canada. Oh, we'll get right on that. My friends and I will take you out for an iceberg tour and take you partying on the famous George Street, the most pubs per square feet in North America. I don't even know where Newfoundland is. I know it's in Canada somewhere, and it sounds cold. But, I definitely, somebody's like, you forgot Norwood. I said Norwood. I want to be very clear about that. And I said Westwood, and I said Dedham, and I said fucking Walpole. I said all those towns. I got them all. I know them all. All right, next. Okay, let me just read some Cash Apps then. Then we'll get started here because we're getting behind. It took like 15 minutes to get this goddamn show started. All right. Karen sends $5 and goes, you're not streaming on Twitter tonight. Not sure if you know. Yeah, I forgot to hit the button. But it's cool. We consolidate all the crowd over here on YouTube. I appreciate that, Karen. Gina sends $5, goes, Michael Proctor lives in his sister's house. Yeah, I roasted some motherfucker today on Twitter. I was just roasting bitches today. Getting back at it. Roasting antis. So, this guy, his name is Dick Hertz, not from Holden, has this tweet out today. He tried being cute about it and said this. He goes, Michael Proctor lives in Karen Reed's head rent-free. Okay. Real. How does she live in his head? He's unemployed. His life is ruined because of Karen Reed. So I don't think he's much in her head other than her just enjoying his downfall. Right. And my response to that was, Michael Proctor lives at his sister's house, pal. Okay. That's where he lives. I was not expecting that many likes. 1.3 thousand likes and counting on that one. And then he goes, Karen Reed lives at her parents' house. It's like, whoa, easy, pal. Only I can make that joke. I want to be very clear about that. See, we can make light of this, okay? I know a lot of people were so offended by that, but guess what? If you were offended by that, I fucking hate you anyway, and I don't want you watching my show. I don't care. You're not my kind of person. I don't like you. You're not fun, right? I don't want you over here. And normally, if I wasn't drama-free, I'd really go off on you. But I'll just leave it at that. Like, I don't like you. and we weren't meant for each other. If you don't think that's funny, right? If you can't have a little joke with that, right? You're not my kind of people. Okay? You're not my kind of people. You know who can take that joke? Karen Reed can, because she's a tough mofo. She's been through a lot. She can take a joke. Okay? Not all you motherfuckers out here acting like you're offended by that. You guys can't take the joke, but she can, because she's tougher than you, right? You don't speak for her. She speaks for herself. Only Karen Reed speaks for Karen Reed. New rule. Thank you. All right. Carly sends $20, goes, drama free is sexy. Ooh, thank you very much, Carly. Says, proud of you. I'm proud of you too. Thank you very much. And I'm glad you find drama free sexy. Okay. If anybody else wants to, yeah, exactly. You got to laugh at yourself. There's some shit that's like too far. You know what I mean? Like, some shit you can't laugh at, but some stuff, it's comedy, it's edgy, it's funny. And like people are like, oh, I forget. They're all fired up. The new thing is the Turtleboy racist thing. Once you start going that route, you've run out of material. You're like, oh, bro, people have been trying to cancel me with that shit for years. It doesn't work. Okay. I mean, nobody thinks I'm racist. It's fucking a joke. I don't even bother denying it because it's just like fucking retarded. Like it's just, that's the other thing is I don't have to respond to every retarded thing on the internet from people who don't matter. If people who don't matter start making accusations against you, right, and start saying, show receipts, Turtleboy, prove this wrong. I don't respond to fucking trolls. I don't dance for fucking trolls. Because then every time a troll makes some ridiculous, unfounded allegation against you with nothing to back it up. Absolutely fucking nothing. Nothing to back it up. That they can just like that you have to stop what you're doing and show a fucking receipt. Homie, don't play that. No. You start doing that, then you dance whenever the fuck they tell you to dance. I don't do that. I'm above you. I matter and you don't. And let me be very clear about this because there were some accusations. Oh, he wasn't paying for he didn't pay Karen Reed for a Halloween party fucking a year and a half ago. Ask Karen Reed. Ask her. She'll show you. You want receipts? Go ask her for them. She received every fucking penny of that. Every fucking penny. I swear on fucking everything. Go ask her. Go ask her for it. Don't believe me? Go ask her. That's all I'm going to say about that. Go ask her. And where's your receipts? Where is the evidence that I didn't pay her? Oh, a psychopath who is just saying crazy shit all the time and is obsessed with me is just making an allegation that money came into my account, but money didn't go to Karen Reed. How would that person know? How would that person know? They wouldn't fucking know, would they? Because they don't have access to my fucking bank account. So maybe she can go and ask Karen Reed that. Please do. I mean, you're good friends, right? Go ask Karen Reed if she received that money. Go fucking do it. Go do it. Go text her tomorrow and fucking ask her. Go do it. I dare you. I fucking dare you. And then get back to me. There's my fucking receipt. Go ask fucking Karen Reed. There's my fucking receipt. Suck on that. Anyway, so, all right, cool. Let's get back to this. All right, so we're going to start with Alan Jackson's interview. Let me pull this up. Anyone else wants their message read, click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat, or you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtleboy. So he's on with my guy, Billy Bush, big turtle rider. Big Karen Reed.
Degree murder charges for killing his parents. We were stunned when Alan abruptly stepped down 5 days ago.
It was bizarre to watch. It was nuts.
They found your love bracelet. It was in a movie and mostly on Karen.
Right.
One of them is out with an actress I haven't heard of, but then there's more to come.
You mean you're talking about the Lifetime show?
Yeah.
The Lifetime movie?
There was a Lifetime
That
movie.
is the actress, Katie Cassidy.
Yeah.
Fantastic job. She did a great job. I saw the film over the weekend. Character wore down to the watch, and somebody found these bracelets many years ago. And so I bought one, and then
In Texas, buys bracelets from. When did you get the call? Family that called, or was it a representative? Oh my God, this had happened.
I was aware, but only.
Say welcome, thank you for to all of our loyal audience who has been If you see anything, guys in the control room there, if you see anything, that
had to go to court before I could get on a flight, and I changed my flights.
what's the list?
Sorry, I don't have the timestamp. I got to find the timestamp.
Merely about to settle. I could be brought on at any point during the life of the
He talks about the Nick Reiner case. I'm not that interested in that, so we're going to skip over that part.
arc of the case. So different to envelop the client in the protection.
Spacey, if they feel Kevin Spacey, if they feel that way.
Government gets it right. At some point, Billy, there's a point at which the government intends in a criminal case, most criminal cases, consequences for the government. Before they can take those rights away, you damn well better get it right. You better cross every T, you better dot every I, you better make no mistakes, you better not cut any corners. And that's where I step in. No matter who the citizen is, they're entitled to absolute protection under the Constitution. And I am, at least I like to think of myself and my team as the protectors. I don't know in advance what's going to be high profile, right? Then good. That means the system's working. There's a client because there's a chemistry there.
Thing. And then I have another question before I get to Alan. From me, you're talking about you don't know if cases need to be famous. When you started with Karen Reed, was there any idea where Karen Reed would end up when you started it? Was
actually, let me start.
So good questions, both of them. To answer the first question first, it completely depends, right? It depends on what our staffing is. It depends on how big the issues are that we're dealing with at the firm, as to how many folks we staff on a particular case. I'm lucky. Again, I'm very fortunate. I've got some of the best lawyers in the country working for us, and so I can pick and choose, and I have to pick and choose. Sort of as a field general, I have to make decisions about this situation has to be dealt with in this silo. I have 2 or 3 lawyers that are really expert at that particular thing. May it be a motion writing, discovery issues, forensic evidence, things of that nature, and we'll decide amongst ourselves how we're going to staff up the case.
And Better Call Saul fans would know that, HHM can always call Davis and Maine and, hey, we need a little help in this particular area.
Exactly.
You can call in some subcontractors.
Yeah. And if we need to, we do. And a lot of that is that propels the next conversation on who we need in terms of experts to come in either from a particular field, medical experts. I don't know, I want to say 3 or 4 or 5 cameras. A young man.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
No, when I went to in September of 2022, I knew that there was some local media that had interest around Karen's case.
Let me see the question. I want to see the question.
In terms of experts to come in either from a particular field, medical experts, forensic experts, computer experts, whomever. So that the staffing all depends on how the case starts to unfold in front of us and what our strategy is moving forward and how we want to defend the case. In terms of publicity, to run Steve's second question, no, when I went to in September of 2022, I knew that there was some local media that had interest around Karen's case. The first time I went to court, they didn't know me, I didn't know them. The media, there were probably, I don't know, I want to say 3 or 4 or 5 cameras.
Yeah, you actually run the risk of being a carpetbagger, right? They're bringing in the LA guy.
For sure.
In Boston, is wicked local there. Who's this guy over there?
Wicked
nice
local.
Suits over there, looking, fit and all that.
There you go.
And you come in.
So I had no idea that it was going to catch fire the way that it did. There was, as you know, there was a local interest in Karen's case. And
so he said when he first got there, his first hearing in September of 2022, he had, there was only a couple cameras there. That's pre-Turtleboy. And that's important to point out. They're like, no one's showing up for this shit. He understands what a big case it is because he's spoken with Karen. He chose this case. He could have turned it down. He knew it was a winner ever since he saw the dog bites. He's told the story a million times before, right? But no media was there.
There was a young man.
We
owe an incredible debt of gratitude to.
Oh, thank you.
Aidan Kearney.
Thank you.
Turtleboy. And he.
Hold on, we're gonna slow this down. You gotta slow it down. Put it on regular speed. A young man. I haven't been called a young man in quite some time. I just turned 44. But thank you for considering me youthful, Mr. Jackson.
He took the mantle of this situation, of this case on. And began the process of making sure that he was reporting on it every single day. He was getting the word out there.
I just want to hear that one more time.
We owe an incredible.
He goes, we owe, not I owe. We owe. Who do you think we is? He said we owe him a tremendous amount of gratitude.
Incredible debt of gratitude to Aidan Kearney.
Turtleboy.
And
we should look at the chat. We should look at his live chat when this is happening. Where's the live chat? Did it disappear? Where does live chat go? Oh, the live chat's gone. All right. But the chat fucking exploded with Turtle Riders, dude. Exploded, right?
Took the mantle of this situation, of this case on, and began the process of making sure that he was reporting on it every single day. He was getting the word out there. That started to catch fire. And then one thing led to another, and it sort of self-generated and began to.
So he reported on it every single day. Yes, I did. And he knew that. Every single day we had one or two new articles in the Can't Cover Up series. Every single day. Putting stories out there, putting that work in. I didn't stop. If I had just written part one and I stopped right there, because part one was the biggest one. I had 500,000 page views on that one. And like nothing else came close. A couple others cracked 100 Gs, but nothing else came close to 500,000. So getting the word out there, right? Hustling, right? Finding new angles with this, right? That's what got people going. Like the first article caught a lot of eyeballs, but you got to keep going. You got to keep your foot on the pedal to the metal. We didn't stop. Every single day for the next, no days off, no days off, no days off. Okay. Just keep going, grinding every single day. I worked my fucking ass off. This story did not become a story on its own, right? This didn't just happen. Hard work was put into this. Research was put into this. Showing up was put into this. Generating crowds was put into this. All of you out there came at different times, right? Most of you didn't read most of you weren't part of the story on April 18th, 2023. People came on later, a week later, a month later, 3 months later, 6 months later, 9 months later. Maybe you came on for the first trial. Maybe you missed the whole first trial. Maybe you came on and started following me in the second trial. But I just kept going. I'm the only content creator out there, the only one that wrote stories about this. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a journalist. This is a supplementary thing that I do. My bread and butter is writing. Okay, that's what I'm really good at, is writing. I'm a really good writer. And when I put my mind to something and I write a story and I put it all together and I do my journalism, that's when I'm at my best. This is like a side gig, the YouTube thing. Okay. And the YouTube thing is how I made it fun, how I made it entertaining, how I kept public interest in it, it was a supplement to my writing. All right. And Alan's right. Like, because I was writing about this, because I was grinding, what was the effect of this?
Explosive of making sure that he was reporting on it every single day. He was getting the word out there. That started to catch fire. And then one thing led to another, and it sort of self-generated and began to explode. And the next time I went out to court, there was, instead of 5 cameras, there were 25 cameras. And the next time I went to court, there were 50 cameras. And then the 100 people turned into 1,000, turned into 5,000.
It became a traveling destination. I talked to people who came from Ireland.
Oh yeah.
No, who were out there in lawn chairs and pink T-shirts.
Yep.
So, I mean, he's right. That's the way history is going to write this, is that first time he shows up to court, 5 cameras, 25 cameras, 50 cameras, crowds outside. First time I'm outside on July 25th, 50 people, right? Next time, September 15th, 100 people, 500 people, 1,000 people. There was over 3,000 people there for the verdict, man. Every day we had people out there. Karen Reed was never alone. That's the way this story is being written. And all these Johnny-come-latelys want to act like we're the defenders of Karen Reed. We are the gatekeeper to Karen Reed. No, you're not, bitch. You're nothing. You don't forget the history here. Karen Reed and I might have a personal difference, right? Over the last 3 months. You will not replace me. That's not how this works. Okay. Karen Reed is not a prize to be won. Unlike other people, I don't covet her friendship. I don't covet a pat on the head. I don't need to brag about having access to her, because Karen and I did this together, right? One could not happen without the other. I fully recognize that. We were a team, right? We worked in concert together. Like, that's not, the anti is going to be like, you're saying that she's intimidating witnesses. No, because neither of us did that. Neither of us did that. Karen Reed was a source of information, a very valuable source of information, who brought receipts, who was basically a part of her legal defense team, right? Who was very generous with, information, knew what kind of shit she could give me, knew what kind of shit she couldn't give me, knew what could get her in trouble, knew what couldn't get her in trouble, right? I put the story out there, right? She didn't have a website. She didn't have a platform. I did. That's where I came in. And one thing Karen Reed has said about me, even when we were not getting along, right, is, yeah, you have balls. That's what she always said about me. I tell people that you have balls, that you didn't give a fuck, that you weren't scared of anything, right? And it took a certain amount of balls to do this because I got arrested. Not a lot of people would do what I did and write the story what I did. Exactly. But that is the hard, even if that's a hard pill to swallow, be big boys and take your medicine. That is exactly it. You guys can be mad all you want. That is a fact. That is the way history is going to write this. Okay. You going on and kissing Karen's ass now and being like, oh, Karen, I would never call you a bad word ever. Oh my God, Turtleboy doesn't care about you. He said cunt. Oh my God, dear God. He made a joke. Oh dear God, he's such a bad person. I'm the one who likes you now. You know, I care about you, Karen. I really care about you. He doesn't care about you. He's trying to throw me under the bus. Motherfucker, you think she's going to forget the fucking history? Are you out of your fucking mind? Are you out of your fucking mind, son? You're going to get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out. Oh, Karen will never talk to him again. How do you know I don't talk to Karen Reed? Is that what they say? How do you know I don't talk to Karen Reed, huh? How do you know? How do you know, motherfucker? That's what I got to say about that, right? It's like, dude, give me a break. Give me a and don't take my word for it. Listen to my man Alan Jackson here. See what he has to say.
Yeah. Same thing. We had folks that would when we would drive up at the very end of the case, by the time it had gotten to its zenith, its highest point. Truly, there were people who would shout at us words of support from Australia, from China, from Ireland, from all over the world that came to the location to catch a glimpse of Karen Reed and her team.
What a scene. I've got so many more questions on that front and where that's actually going, but I want to let's go back to the courthouse. The arraignment was last Wednesday for Nick Reiner. I was floored.
And I understand he talks about it again at 54 minutes. Is that when the guy chimes in? Yeah, there we go.
Ills that have badly needed rectifying for many, many years.
Hey, Billy and Alan, you brought up, you brought up Turtleboy, and I just wanted to, from Ann Dunlap, 1951, she says, thank you, Mr. Alan Jackson, for acknowledging Aidan Kearney.
All right, can we just take before we get to this part, everyone's like, I'm noticing in the comments, people like relapse, call Emily. You think that's drama? That's not drama. That's me being proud of what I did. Guys, you guys don't understand being proud. Like, and understanding the work you've done. I sacrificed for this shit. Okay. I worked hard. Karen Reed would agree with every single word that I just said. Every single word. I guarantee it. Okay. And that's the thing. That's the difference, is that I don't need all, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't seek the approval of anyone. That's not what I'm here to do. I know what I've done. Okay. And I'm proud of it. I'm very proud of the work that I've done. Right. Being outside that courthouse on June 18th, 2025 was the most uplifting and biggest moment of my fucking life. Like, let's be real. It was bigger than my fucking wedding. Like, it's like big. It's like that was the fucking zenith. That was it. That was it, man. And you guys are joking. Okay, I get it. But some of you guys might be serious. Like, but it's like, that was it. I worked my fucking, like, that was it. Like, that was the culmination of 2.5 years of hard work. All right. And personal sacrifice. Going to fucking jail. I did not go to jail for Karen Reed. I want to put that out there, right? For Karen Reed, the person. This isn't like I'm not some knight in shining armor that jumped in front of a fucking, and it was like, arrest me instead. That's not what happened. Okay. They arrested me because I was seeking justice for John O'Keefe. That's why they arrested me. Because when I went up to Jennifer McCabe and, Matt McCabe and you name it, Colin. I never confronted Colin. Chris Albert, all these other douchebags I confronted. That wasn't for Karen Reed. That was for John O'Keefe. Okay? So I went to jail for John O'Keefe. I didn't go to jail for Karen Reed. I went to jail for John O'Keefe because John O'Keefe deserves answers. And every question that I asked these people didn't really pertain to Karen Reed as much as it did to John O'Keefe. Why did you Google how long to die in cold at 2:27 a.m.? She didn't Google how long to die in cold at 2:27 a.m. because she was trying to hurt Karen Reed. She did it because she was trying to hurt John O'Keefe, because she wanted him to die. And she wanted to know how long it would take for him to die. And they don't want me asking that question. These people are trying to cover up the murder of John O'Keefe. Karen Reed was the person they framed for it. Okay? She was an unfortunate victim of their corruption and the murder of John O'Keefe. But John O'Keefe is the one who's dead. And that's who I went to jail for. John O'Keefe. So don't ever forget that. I didn't go to jail for Karen Reed because a lot of people are like, and that was honestly one of the points of contention with Karen Reed and I. She kind of felt like I was telling people that I went to jail for her, and I didn't go to jail for her. I did not. I went to jail for John O'Keefe. That's because I was fighting for justice for him and answering or asking questions that no one else would ask.
And prayers will be set free. Saying that was out there that there was from Ann Dunlap.
I love you, Ann Dunlap.
She says, "Thank you, Mr. Alan Jackson, for acknowledging Aidan Kearney, and prayers will be set free." Saying that was out there that there was some maybe everyone.
There's a lot of turtles. There's a look at.
It was saying
Alan,
maybe everyone
look at all
doesn't
the
get
turtles
along.
in the chat section.
I'm
turning my lap.
I do wish Billy didn't talk. I love Billy, but I wish he didn't talk as much during this segment because I really wanted to hear from Alan more. I don't know how you guys felt about this, but I really wanted to hear Alan just kind of go off of this because I'm sure he had a lot to say.
I like it. Good.
Look at all the turtles.
And there should be. There should be.
But
Good.
I think they liked hearing you, Alan, that you're reaching out and saying something about Turtleboy. I think there's a lot out there that maybe parties on both sides aren't getting along, but they like to hear the nice words that you said.
Of course. Yeah.
Well, where was the first?
See, like that. See, that's what I mean. I love Billy. I want to hear from him there. I want to hear from Alan. That's a really good question. Listen to the question that was just asked.
Place that
out and saying something about Turtleboy. I think there's a lot out there that maybe parties on both sides.
I think there's a lot out there that maybe parties on both sides
getting along, but they
aren't
like
getting
to hear
along.
the nice words that you said.
Of course.
But they like to hear the nice words that you said. Now I want to hear from Alan. That's a really good question because that's the elephant in the room, right? And he's willing to address it. He never backs down from a question. I want to hear from Alan and only Alan right now. And then I hear,
of course. Yeah.
Well, where was the first place that Alan Jackson appeared after the trial was over? I think you paid respect and you spent a Saturday night. Live.
Yeah. So it's kind of like Billy's answering the question here. But that doesn't address the question. The question was, in light of all of this division that's been going on, that seems to be going on in the FKR community, what do you think of that, Al? I mean, you just made a statement in full support of Turtleboy, right? So thank you. And they thank you for doing that. What do you think of that? And then Billy's like, oh, let me answer that question for you. And it's like, no, we want to hear from Alan. You know what I mean? I love Billy, but
with him.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
That was by,
sure.
That was, you could have
by design. I could have picked
𝗵𝗿𝗃𝗺, Boston Globe, many other
people. You know what I mean? He's like answering the question for him. Like, I want to hear this from Alan. Love it. I want to hear from Alan.
People who were all over this, me.
Yeah.
I was asking. You went right to Turtleboy first.
There's a beauty to groundwork being done by its own community. In other words, when you talked about Minneapolis, there's other communities throughout the country that are suffering at the hands of not just incompetence, but in some cases, just abject corruption. And when you have a grassroots movement from anybody, if anybody can get that started, that has so much power.
Yes.
In bringing to light and protecting bringing to light the corruption and protecting the folks who have been the target of the corruption. And by the way, I'm far from it. I'm not saying that all police agencies are bad or all investigators are bad or they always get it wrong. But I'm saying they get it wrong a hell of a lot of times. a hell of a lot of the time. And there are
Well, there's
plenty of
getting
folks-
something wrong, and then there's like she did it, and something is blatant, and this woman goes to jail for the rest of her life.
Yeah, and
for
we know
murder.
she didn't do
Like,
it, and
what?
we're still
You're
gonna
willing
say she
to
did
do
it.
that? Your conscience will be okay at night by pinning this because you need a win so badly.
Every one of the
Michael
folks,
Morrissey?
every one of those folks, starting with Michael Morrissey,
The
and on
DA.
down,
I mean,
every single one of those folks slept like a baby, and that is tragic. They
Yes.
slept like a baby, knowing full well that they were prosecuting an innocent woman. They damn well did. That is shameful.
Little Alan Jackson story for you. A little anecdote here. He's somebody whose opinion I very much I respect. This man. He's one of the best attorneys in the country. And here am I. Who am I? You know what I mean? I'm just a boy from Worcester, you know, with a dream. And I started a website and I have a YouTube channel, right? That's who I am to my core. And here I am having conversations on the phone and texting and talking shop and doing business with and getting compliments from one of the most high profile attorneys in the country who I believe his hourly rate is like $1,800 an hour. That's how fucking good he is. All right. So, I mean, that's just crazy for me to sit back and think about that. Like Alan Jackson fucking calls me and shit and texts me and like has nice things to say about me. Like that's fucking crazy still. Like it's still crazy. And so like one day, like his comp, like David Yannetti was the same way, but it just was like, it felt really good to get these compliments from these really high profile attorneys. Anyway, like the way they depicted it on that Lifetime movie, that's the way Karen described it to me. They would have like Turtleboy watch parties, like with all of them. And like, they were just like, holy shit, this is like music to our ears, you know? And one time in between the two trials, when Hank Brennan was first hired, I don't know if you guys remember that. It was like September of probably 24. Hank Brennan is first hired. And my first take on that was that media and reporters need to ask, why are they hiring somebody if they have an army of ADAs that we pay our taxes to do this? Why are the taxpayers paying for this? That was my initial take on the hiring of Hank Brennan. Was this seems like a waste of money. And Karen texted me, or no, she called me, and she was like, Alan wants to talk to you. And she's like, this is like, and then we did like a 3-way call. I think this is what happened, if I recall. And she put Alan on the phone, and he's like, I just want to say that like your tweet, because that was my first initial reaction to her. He goes, your tweet was like exactly what every reporter should be saying right now. Like that is the take right there. And he's like, you should be a lawyer. He told me, he goes, you think like a lawyer. Like he's like, he told me you should go to law school. And I'm like, I'm a little old for that. I'm not starting over. You know, I'm 40 some years old. I don't have time to go to law school and do that. And I like what I do now. So I wouldn't want to become a lawyer. But like, yeah, like Karen called me and put me on the phone with Alan Jackson, he's like, that is the fucking take right there. Like, why is this happening? Like, that is the question that no other media outlet is asking right now. And that's what makes you, right? That's what makes you different, is like, you say the shit that comes in my mind. He's basically saying, like, the shit that goes through my mind, you say it, you know, you have the takes that like, I've been thinking this shit and then you fucking say it. And it's like music to my ears. And the people are like, oh, he's just fluffing his tires. This has been our relationship the entire time. Like with Alan and David. Very, very like complimentary and just getting it. And we think alike, we're on the same page, and it's really cool. It is a really cool experience.
That is tragic that there is no more moral compass in the system, especially out there, in the system of justice out there in Massachusetts, then those folks could go home at night and justify their conduct. It's unjustifiable, unacceptable. And that's what we're going to expose in the civil cases.
Well, you are not afraid to speak emphatically and call it out. And you did then, and you still do. And boy, these trials. When does that? It seems to be a lull in the action, if you
Yeah,
will.
the
All right.
civil cases.
So that the civil case actually.
I mean, Billy, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, it is.
So all these civil cases will take a good amount of time. I mean, we're just in the beginning of the discovery phases. Not a single deposition has been taken yet.
Is this going to cost Karen a bunch of money to defend herself? Right.
The entire.
Where does she get it?
The entire. Absolutely, it's going to cost her a pretty penny to defend herself.
So she has to raise money from people.
Correct. There. I've seen speculation out online about that she's got plenty of money in this. She's
how?
No, she does. She does not. She does not. She does not have the funds and the resources to defend herself against the O'Keefe suit, and she's doing the best she can. She's not going to.
Will we see something in this? Will it get moving in the spring?
Well, yes, there will be additional court appearances. As a matter of fact, there will be some movement in the discovery world. Depositions are starting to get scheduled, etc. So you'll see some movement, but it goes at a glacial pace. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
You know, it's not like a criminal case.
It is the 1-year anniversary of Hot Mics.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to be expensive, as he says. He gets into other parts there about, like, you know, he's working basically for free. So I think this fund is basically all going to his, you know, he's worth it, you know. I don't know what's contingency. I don't know how it all works. And obviously I've made comments before about, like, Karen Reed can generate her own money, whatever, blah, blah, blah. She'll make money. Okay. But, you know, that's her business. Like, it is what it is. And I support her cause no matter what, because at the end of the day, this lawsuit can bring answers, depositions. But like he said there, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Like, and I think when I initially made my comments, I'm like, yeah, but my trial's like coming up this year. Like, Karen Reed's in the O'Keefe's lawsuit is not going to get settled anytime fucking soon. Like, this will go on for years, you know. And at the end of the day, it's money. You know, whereas with mine, like, I'm facing 90 years in jail. And it's the same people, you know. And it is not just the same people, but the First Amendment is also on trial. It's like a very important principle, because if we don't have free speech, if we don't have the First Amendment, then we don't have a country, right? We don't have a democracy. If we don't have the First Amendment, if we don't have the ability to speak out against the government, that's the government. That's what they're speaking out against, the government and the people being protected by the government, right? Criminals who are being protected by the government. If I don't have the right to make them uncomfortable by asking questions because they say it causes them emotional harm, then we don't have a country, folks. We don't. If we can't make people uncomfortable, if we can't ask questions, if you can just silence any speech that you want because you're like, oh my God, shock and horror, emotional harm. Oh my God, I had to drop out of Bridgewater State. Oh my dear God. Oh, they said there was blood in the pizza. Oh my dear God. How were we ever going to survive? Oh, shock and horror. Oh my God, there was a rolling rally. Oh geez, they came to our house for 7 minutes and stood on the street, and there was a bunch of old ladies and shit. And oh dear, there was a megaphone. Oh dear God, it amplified the sound of his voice. Shock and horror. Oh my God, it was the lacrosse game. Oh dear Lord. Oh wow, there was children everywhere and doxing and semen. Oh boy, and then I got a Facebook message from some unrelated party, and they cited Turtleboy's work. And oh my God, Lizzie Proctor's workplace got negative reviews after she tried to get people fired. Shock and horror. Oh, gee whiz. Julie Bagel is out here, and she's really sad, and outside Sia McCarthy's, and she's calling my psycho ex-girlfriend fucking pregnant. Oh, my God. How are we ever going to fucking survive this? If you can just silence anyone you want over that, we don't have a country, folks. We don't have a democracy. We can't do anything. You can never criticize the government. You can never do shit if you can just silence people by saying I'm experiencing emotional harm. That's a really big fucking principle. And when you donate to my legal defense fund, that's what you're donating to, okay? Not only the principle of it all, but also keep my ass out of jail. Because they have the resources of the government. Cosgrove is a fucking joke, but Cosgrove has the backing of the government. So there we go. Although when I go to trial, if I go to trial in December, he will be a lame duck, right? Because a new district attorney is going to be elected the first Tuesday of November. So will they even want to keep doing this? That's why I say vote for 𝗍𝗃. I have not heard a word from 𝗄𝗏_Perkins, by the way. You know how 𝗄𝗏_Perkins could get my support? Run on a platform of my first thing I'm doing in office is dropping the charges against Turtleboy. We don't, not just Turtleboy, anyone who is being targeted for this bogus witness intimidation bullshit in Norfolk County, clean slate. You want 𝗄𝗏_Perkins to get my support? Say that. I will support her. And she will win if she says that. Okay? We'll see. We'll see. But that would be a bold move. We'll see. Anyway, one more thing here. One more clip.
What?
This one.
For people to speak out who have had no voice before, so they can get out on social media and make a splash. Look what Aidan did, right? To
Turtleboy.
Yeah, to really shine a hot spotlight on corruption that was right under his nose, that he's actually experienced himself because he shined the spotlight on it. Now he's being attacked by the very behemoth, by the very
one more time
under his nose, that he's actually to really shine a hot spotlight on corruption that was right under his nose, that he's actually experienced himself.
I love how he's actually experienced this corruption himself. He suffered, like the same government that came after my client came after him. Welcome, member. I love you, lady. Appreciate that.
Because he shined the spotlight on it, now he's being attacked by the very behemoth, by the very 800-pound gorilla that he exposed. How's that fair?
800-pound
well, that's just
gorilla.
an indicator. That's just a paradigm of a larger problem throughout the country, both on the federal level with the DOJ to state courts and state agencies across the country. And it's high time that someone starts exposing these things.
Yes.
And pointing a finger.
Yes.
And showing some spine and not being afraid.
Yes.
Because of the amount of exposure social media brings to bear, it does provide a little bit of a safety net. So it's discouraging, but it's an exciting time for exposition to expose some of these ills that have badly needed rectifying for many, many years.
Yeah. So there we go. And the comments that I made about Karen Reed was mostly like, early on, I'm like, yeah, but I need money. I need funding too. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I was a little upset. I was pissed, said some shit. Like, again, I don't owe YouTube an apology. If I'm sorry, you won't know about it because I'm not telling you, right? There's only one person out there I would tell that to, and it ain't fucking you. None of you. I will never say sorry to any of you if I'm actually sorry. If I'm sorry for anything I said about or to Karen Reed, there was only one person in the world who will hear her, and it ain't fucking you. It ain't you, unless that one person's listening. That's it. So there's that. All right, cool. Next. Let's read some turtle chat, shall we? And then we will go on to Karen's interview. Now, we are we're at 10:30 right now. We're not going to be able to watch the whole Rotten Mango. So you know what that means. You know what that means. We're probably gonna have some daytime daddy tomorrow. Okay. If we don't finish this tonight, because I do want to get through the whole Rotten Mango interview. And so what we don't finish tonight, we will finish tomorrow. Okay. So let's get back to this. Let's read some turtle chats here. First up, we have Kate sends $5 and says, my mood is deflating faster than a Patriots football. Too soon. Also, Tomlin stepped down. Did he really? Tomlin quit? Oh, interesting. Him and Harbaugh gone. See you later. They're around too long. Who says that make Andy Reid the most tenured coach in the NFL? I don't even know. Patricia sends $5, goes, you're on fire tonight. I needed this kind of episode after a rough day. Well, thank you. I'm glad to bring you this kind of episode. tonight. I appreciate that very much. Marlene sends $10, goes, if I come to one of your hearings, will you sign my tits? So turn into Happy Gilmore. Yes, I will sign your tits. If you come to one of my hearings, I will sign any part of your body. Well, disclaimer. Yeah, I'll probably sign any part of your body. Okay. But definitely tits are included in that. Thank you, Marlene. Megan sends $10 and goes, I died laughing while flipping through Twitter when I saw your response to Michael Proctor lives Karen Reed and Karen Reed's head rent free was Michael Proctor lives at his sister's house. You were so quick and so funny. I love you and support you. I had no idea that response was going to get that many likes, but it's just the first thing that came to me. It's like, no, actually he lives at his sister's house. So calm down. Thank you. Next. Felicia sends $10, goes, remember the claims they made that AJ was angry at you and going after you legally because of the recording. I bet they're feeling retarded now. Yeah. Actually, yeah. I mean, that's actually, and you know, somebody called the cops on me over that. You know that. Somebody went to the police in my town and reported that to the police and said, Turtleboy wiretapped Karen Reed. And they brought a full recording of it, which I didn't even know existed. And because nobody's ever heard this thing. And, you know, let's just say in order for, if you do that, right, if you go to the police and say Turtleboy, or if you go to the police and say that one person wiretapped another, but you weren't the person that was wiretapped, right? You're not a victim of this. You're not a party of this, right? But you're reporting a crime. But the victim of the crime then would have to participate in this, right? And so the police are going to call them, right? And as you can probably imagine, if that person who is allegedly the victim of this crime doesn't want to participate in this because they have a lot of shit going on, like important shit that matters, and they don't want to get dragged into some other person's personal bullshit. Also because it like exposes them and they don't want to be out there like they're not gonna, they don't have to. They don't have to. And they're probably, Alan Jackson, you know, they wouldn't call, if you're represented by counsel, they're not going to call you, they're going to call your counsel, you know? And so, yeah, and your counsel could say to the police, yeah, we want nothing to do with this. We did not authorize this at all. I don't know why people are doing this on our behalf. I certainly would never endorse this, right? I don't know why we're being brought into this, you know? That's what you could say if you were called by them. So and it's like if someone and that's what I've seen with this whole thing is that people are trying to make her speak for her. Stop speaking for Karen Reed. She can speak for herself. Okay. She did speak for herself briefly on the JFK program and she let out her frustrations. Okay. That's it. She speaks for herself when she wants to. Nobody else does. Stop speaking for people. So there's that. Next. Let's see. Old School Slacker sends $100 and says, free Bobble Bible Daddy. Bobble Bible. I don't know what that is, but okay, thank you. And I appreciate, what's Bobble Bible? You sent $100. I'll take it. Thank you. Lexi will never guess who Miller sends $5 and goes, my coworker and I. My coworker and I play a game with our ticket system at work. When we send messages to each other, we are always put card in the message to see how long before someone asks questions about it. I know card. Remember card? Thank you. Rosaline sends $10 and goes, Dr. Turtleboy Map Daddy. Cosgrove's excuse will be that Mello ate his homework, aka his response, instead of no ass bitch to Chico would revise to nice ass bitch. because no matter the ass, the bitches will always get you. XOXO free 𝗺𝗏𝗺. Thank you, Roseline. Gypsy Soul Astro Photos sends $8 and says, preach it, hashtag Saint 𝗺𝗏𝗺. Thank you so much. Lisa Marie sends, hold on one second. Lisa Marie says, what is this? How much? $10 and goes, it's not talked about enough that WBZ told us that the crime was on Ring camera. I feel like I'm the one that kind of brought that up in an article. Olivia Lambo did a lot of tweeting about it, you know. But yeah, we've brought it up many times. So much that they took it down. So we all, during COVID, went back to our lives. You were the only one to tell us the truth. They kept up that lie for more than 2 years. Without you, there wouldn't be a free camera movement. So glad AJ said it. You're free, 𝗺𝗏𝗺. Thank you. Exactly. Kim from Texas McMillan sends $15 and goes, did you see a Boston cop is suing Michael Cox for retaliation after he uncovered fraud within the department? Can you cover that story? It's on Boston 25 legal period. Yeah, I will look into that. So thank you. I did see that headline. Thank you very much, Kim from Texas McMillan. Niam sends $10 and goes, hi, Dr. 𝗺𝗏𝗺. I think you're an amazing man. I look forward to every show, and I can't wait to hear the words 𝗺𝗏𝗺 free instead of free 𝗺𝗏𝗺. Ooh, I like that one. Thank you for the laughs and fair play to you staying drama free. Hold on one second. Oh, by the way, somebody in the chat said that I sent money to a Cash App to what I thought was you. It says Aidan Kearney. It has your logo and it's off by 1 letter. And someone is taking money under your name, but it is a fake account. That's just a little heads up there. I am at Dr. 𝗺𝗏𝗺 on Cash App. So Dr. 𝗺𝗏𝗺. So that's me. So let me just, let's see here. All right. Let's see next. Yeah, it says, so, hey, Dr. 𝗺𝗏𝗺, I think you're an amazing man. I look forward to every show, and I can't wait to hear the words 𝗺𝗺𝗺 free instead of free 𝗺𝗺𝗺. Thank you for the laughs and fair play to you, staying drama-free. However, it is understandable if now and again you need to give certain people a taste of their own medicine. Here is my favorite phrase for those people: cock-juggling thunder cunts. Okay, peace and love from Ireland. Well, thank you very much. Do we have any Cash Apps here? Cock-juggling thunder cunts. Yes, we do have. Duchess sends. Okay. Well, she sends $50, which is, a decent amount. And I will read this. This is graphic, so earmuffs. Again, $50 is $50. She says, pussy is throbbing daddy. Okay. Again, inappropriate. Don't let your kids rewind. But she spent $50, so she has a right to say whatever she wants. So thank you very much. $5 from Emily. And she says, who is that guy in the beginning of Jess's live stream outside of court today? He was so ratchet. Can you please show the class? My birthday is tomorrow, and all I want is a good old 𝗺𝗏𝗺 rant. Outside of the Kelsey Fitzsimmons hearing? Should we listen? I have not seen that. So let's go watch that real quick. Let's see. Jessica Machado. All right, let's pull it up. Everybody go give her a sub, will you? We love Jess around here. We got it again. I just read it. I did not send that to myself. I would not do that.
Little kids that work for the feds bringing in coke, now they're bringing in 14 kilos of fentanyl at a time.
Is this
trafficking under J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, the Driscoll administration, under the Department of Domestic DNI, a branch of the FBI. Okay, I know kids, little kids that work for the feds bringing in coke. Now they're bringing in 14 kilos of fentanyl at a time. And the chief's involved, government's involved, and everybody in here is involved. They've already taken 3 attempts on my life. I can't even get legal representation. I work for 𝗃𝗍𝗄𝗍𝗃, the richest man in Israel. John Kennedy, Mitt Romney, at the same damn time during 9/11. 9/11 was to get John Kerry's heroin here. And they covered it up for COVID. Brought in fentanyl. All those fentanyl deaths led to COVID. Explain this one to me, people. The 3 million died worldwide of COVID. How come nobody was found dead in their house or in the street? When them doctors were killing your families, they wouldn't even go let you see them.
This is like my inbox every day. Every day I get some guy in my inbox who's like, Turtleboy, you got a massive corruption, blah, 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 blah. It's this guy like in my inbox. This is my inbox every day. Is this fucking guy yelling about shit.
These judges are corrupt, the cops are corrupt, the judges are murderers. What's up, Lamar? Don't you want to talk? I try to keep it under control.
There's like no street. What's going on? What's happening? Is it a rapper? Is he rapping? Rapping, yeah.
Still working for the department. Cop killer, killer cop, still working for the fucking department. It's true. And we're supposed to feel safe? Meanwhile, they've already taken 3 attempts on my life. I reached out to corruption lawyers, everybody. They're all working together. I can't get civil rights attorneys. I can't get anything. But what I can do is get the chief.
Who is this
coming
guy?
back.
How does her mic pick him up that well?
He can't walk away.
Okay.
Who did like all those hate streams about me? They are here.
Well, who did hate you?
Also, nice Louis Vuitton. If this were cool, about this.
Oh,
it's
𝗃𝗍𝗄𝗏.
non-consensual 𝗃𝗍𝗃. Exactly.
It's 𝗃𝗍𝗃.
It's okay. I don't know.
That's not James Jackson. That's 𝗃𝗍𝗃.
By no means. I speak Espanol.
It's 𝗃𝗍𝗃.
It's also no. Oh, it is. I was gonna say no. No, that means. Oh God. It was definitely a rap at one point, and I was like, "Oh, fancy." Cheap.
Where's
Who's this lady?
Sorry.
Right.
Where's
cheap.
Bradle? Where's Bradle?
Feel comfortable. It's like, and I was. Girl, you? Girl, you can't be.
Yeah.
Oh, there they
That's
are.
a back and forth process. We're all pretty experienced attorneys, so we don't really need to involve
That's my lawyer.
at this point in fighting about anything. I think the prosecutors are trying to get us. That will determine what moves we make after we get the discovery. And yeah, so moving along.
Crawford got in a scuffle?
That's about it. Anybody has questions? Yeah, 2 or 3 days.
I'm going to go on Justice Serves channel because it's just, no offense to Jess, but they have like nice little setup there. Hold on. Justice Served, because he's the one asking a question right now. Do they have a live for this or was it?
If you watch until the end of the video.
Is it a video or a live? Let's see. Okay, here it is.
We won't leave anybody hanging, I promise. Everybody gets a chance. Everybody gets a chance, I promise. So today was not unexpected. We knew the prosecutor had a few things.
Is that Kelsey's dad? I know the mom. That's her mom. And who's that guy right there?
On his plate.
It's nice to see her not in custody, isn't it?
We're more concerned right now about getting the discovery. That's a back and forth process. We're all pretty experienced attorneys, so we don't really need to involve the court at this point in fighting about anything. I think the prosecutors are trying to get us everything you can get us. That will determine what moves we make after we get all of their discovery. And yeah, so it goes. So we're moving along.
What, a Mike's live?
There's a lot of avenues to explore. And that's about it. Anybody have any questions?
You had first said, I remember, a 2-day trial estimate. Today I heard 3 days. Anything change?
Yeah, 2 or 3 days, plus or minus. We have to decide a lot of things, and it depends on what discovery we get. It depends on what they're saying, what they're not saying, how they say it. So, we have some people. We're looking at some potential experts. That's all their cards, so to speak. So.
Do you anticipate any issues? I know there's going to be a follow-up date on the.
I'm not even sure where this video. And we may have some information.
I don't even know what this trial is going to be about. It's just a he said, she said. The cop who shot her says that she pulled a gun on him, and she says that she tried to put a gun to her head. Is she going to take the stand? She has to, right? She has to take the stand. I mean, that's going to be an interesting trial. 2 or 3 days, that's a pretty short trial.
Seeking from there in terms of the departure of the officer relative to the use of force, relative.
I think we don't mind just trying to feel one way or another, or do you feel one way or another about the trial being delayed? If you were kind of hoping to get it over with in February, or if you're saying
soon as I do that, it's one step closer to be reunited with my son. So that's how I feel. But I do know that it's a process, and that if it has to get extended, it's probably for a good reason too.
And then anything else you want people watching this know about your situation?
This is the first time I've heard her
that
talk.
you feel wasn't represented properly, or just something that you want, anything you want people to know in general?
I think there's been a lot of misrepresentations, and it will all be very clear once I get my day.
Kelsey, how do you feel about today versus the other appearances you've made? Quite a different feeling, I would think.
No taking the stand?
I get nervous every time I come here because of past times, so I get nervous being here.
She's under a lot of restrictions and you know, kind of an unprecedented number of restrictions that each one carries with it all sorts of sub issues that we have to be very concerned about. So I don't blame her one bit for being concerned about, you know, every little aspect of her release terms.
Wouldn't you be if the last time you went in there as a free person, you ended up going out to jail for 3 months? Because that's what happened. The last time she went in there for what she thought was like a routine hearing, she left. She went to jail. Like, what? They weren't even expecting that. She got to have trauma from that. Like, am I going to jail? Like, they didn't even tell me? You know?
So it's an ongoing issue. The government increasingly puts defendants under the grip of various technologies like the scram bracelet, and we get any
people. Oh, like, let me be very clear. People like, you can't take the stand. Oh, I'm taking the stand I'm taking the fucking stand. No doubt about it. I am 1000% taking the stand. That you can bring that to the bank right now. I would have taken the stand in the Kearney retrial, but I wasn't willing to give up my coverage of the court case. If Hank Brennan was actually willing to call me as a witness and allow me to actually cover the trial as a journalist, then I would have done it. I was not giving up one. Okay. I was not going to give up my coverage of that trial. I'm not giving that up. Sorry. That meant more to me than taking the stand. I need to be able to do my fucking job. Hank only put me on that witness list, the first fucking name, because he didn't want me in the courtroom. He didn't want me doing my show. He didn't want me covering this. That's why he put me on there. If you think for 1 second, though, I didn't get fucking hard thinking about the idea of putting him on that. I wish a motherfucker would. Do you understand what I would have done to Hank Brennan on the stand? Do you understand? Do you? I don't think you do. I would have fucking destroyed him. You know my thoughts on Hank Brennan, right? You know that. You put me on there. Excuse me. Did you intimidate the witnesses? No, motherfucker. I didn't intimidate anyone. What about when you went up to a lacrosse game? Well, yeah, they killed John O'Keefe. Did you tell the jurors that? Did you mention that to them? Big bad Brian Albert. You didn't call him, right? Yeah, let me tell you guys, the jurors. There's this guy, Brian Albert. He's a bad motherfucker. He's big as shit. He beat the fuck out of John O'Keefe. And there's this other guy, Higgy. Oh, he's a fucking thug. He ran after me in Cape Cod. I drove by his house. I was in a passenger seat. He ran after me like a fucking rhino. You know? They killed John O'Keefe. I don't know if you know that. What? Oh, you guys think it was her? Oh, no. If I thought she did it, I would have gone up to her and asked questions. She clearly didn't. They did. So that's why I did everything. Any other questions, Spanky? He knew he wasn't going to put me on there. Objection, Your Honor. Mr. Brennan, you're the one that asked the question. Still, objection. John O'Keefe was 46 years old. Okay, we know how old he is, Spanky, okay? Stop saying how old he is. We get it. He's 46, okay? Great guy. 2 kids. We get it. Doesn't change. I mean, there was no way. There was no way. I wish a motherfucker would. Yeah. Oh, I can't share that one. I can't share the meme that was just sent to me about that. Anyway, all right. So anyway, let's listen to Karen Reed's interview, shall we? Let's go listen to some Rotten Mango. If anyone else wants their messages read, click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat, or you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtle Boy. No, yeah, did I say Dr. Turtle Boy? It's Uncle Turtle Boy. That's my Cash App, right? Yeah, it's Uncle Turtle Boy. Sorry, I said the wrong Cash App before. I don't know if Dr. Turtle Boy is a person. Don't do that. Okay. Anyway, back to this.
You were facing life in prison.
Yes.
June 18th, you get acquitted. What is that feeling in a way that's comparable to something someone watching can understand?
It's probably the opposite of what someone watching would assume I felt. I am still not quite living in an acquittal world. I thought I would just bounce back like on a spring. It hasn't been that way. I don't quite understand why. I'm trying to understand why I haven't felt more celebratory. And what I think is that I lived with some very singular emotions: fright, anger, and anxiety. It was very intense. Every waking hour, every hour, I thought about my freedom and if I could lose it. And those feelings just don't disappear when a jury foreman says not guilty. I mean, there is, of course, relief, but I don't just wake up the next day and I'm living the life I lived 5 years ago. I felt my grief was being replaced with anger that was then driving this adrenaline. And I woke up every day with a real purpose, and I was appreciative that I was free to pursue this purpose. And then all of a sudden, the purpose is gone, thankfully, but I don't have a routine to go back to. It's not there anymore. I don't have a job.
So like the first 15, 20 minutes of this interview are largely about like her psyche and stuff like this. And we kind of been over this on my, like, I've talked to her about this and I've relayed, you know, when the trial first ended and my conversations with her were like, these were things she told me, was that like, I just didn't know how to feel normal. You know what I mean? Like I woke up every day for 3 years and my job was my case, and now it's just over and I don't know what to do. And she's obviously suffering from some sort of PTSD, right? I mean, you could be as strong as you want. Karen Reed's a very strong person. It doesn't matter how strong you are, right? Like you're still human. You're still going to get fucked up from this. And, you know, she lives in, I have a certain amount of post-traumatic stress from actually going to jail and being in fear and all that shit. And so does she. She fears the police, at least around here she does. And she actually has a nice thing later on where she's like, I have no offense to the police, but I am scared of them, you know? Like I am, like, and she wants to move because, you know, because of that. So yeah, go on.
I don't have a home anymore, and I'm just kind of in no man's land. And I still have moments every day, very brief, like a nanosecond, where I think of something. I need to tell Liza Little this for this witness, or if God forbid I'm ever convicted, I need to make sure I tell my mother this. Or it's over the feeling as soon as it starts, but there's definitely some synapses in my head that are still thinking trial hasn't happened yet. It's like when you get ready for the holidays and then you think, wait a minute, did Christmas already happen? It was all this anticipation, and then it's over in a couple hours and you unwrap presents, and
like I could probably do a killer impression of Karen Reed if I put some time into this and study the character, but she's very high strung, right? Just her whole, she gets agitated easily, right? You can tell just by listening. And she wants to like say it. She has like so much on her mind, and she's kind of articulate and uses big words and wants to get them all out. And she thinks what she says before she says it, but she's always just like, and I want to say it but she's just very high strung when she gets this shit out. And she just seems, I don't know if I didn't know her before this, so I don't know what she was like before this, or if the trial made her this way, but she's very high strung. You could tell just by looking at her, just her mannerisms and everything like this. I don't know if this is if the trial and this whole thing made her like this, right? But a lot of the conversations I had with her, she was high strung, like, because there's always throwing shit at her, So I don't know if she was like this prior to January 29th, 2022, but she's very, I think this is the PTSD, you know, just her mannerisms.
it feels like that. Like I have to ask myself, it's over, right? It happened. I don't need to worry about this anymore. But there's this big void in my body and in my mind and physically, and what I was doing every day that I don't quite know how to fill. I just feel like a fish out of water. It's weird.
I mean, that was something I was going to ask. It's been like 6+ months since the acquittal. Obviously, you don't want to go back to trial, but every day you have to get dressed. You have a mission. There's urgency. Was there like a wave of emotions that hit you after the acquittal that maybe you were suppressing during the trial?
The acquittal feels like 3 years ago. When you say 6 months, it's like, oh my God, has it only been 6 months? I already feel like It's been many seasons and many things since then. I've had such an amazing network of support, more than anyone could ever ask for in this circumstance. Emotionally, when I needed to let things out, I had people around me that I could lean on. It was more physically that I didn't have the physical appetite. I didn't have the physical energy I had during trial. I've felt just kind of lackluster and just relaxed, but not this drive. Like I feel like I've lost some of this drive, and it feels like it was just a prolonged response to what the government did to me.
So this is at 1.5 speed, mind you, when we're playing this. So this is 1.5 speed, but you can tell every single word that comes out of her mouth is she's thinking about it. She thinks about every word that comes out of her mouth before she says it. She also knows that like there's still talk of, and she was worried about this summer when they wouldn't give her her phone back. She's like, "Are they going to try to indict me again?" And I'm like, "Bro, they're not going to indict you." Okay. She actually did. I calmed her down. Okay. Because she actually said, "Thank you." For that, like, because I'm like, dude, because dude, relax. Like, I'm much more laid back about this. She's much more uptight. And because I'm like, dude, they're not going to fucking indict you. Stop it. They tried that shit once. They just don't want to give you your phone back. They're just being assholes. Okay. That's all. Now she is more worried about this than I am, because she's been through so much, but I've told her, I'm like, they're not going to fucking indict you. They're done. They don't have it. Okay. They tried it once. It's a fucking joke. Robert Cosgrove is going to run the grand jury. Stop it. They're not fucking indicting you. They're just being douchebags. That's it. It's it. You know?
Had these endorphins pushing me, getting me out of bed, keeping me up, working on witness prep during trial and motions in between trials. And then it just shuts off. It was like this supply I had that never paying for it. Now, like I've got to relearn how to get a regimen and how to source energy and drive every day. Yeah. Maybe, hopefully not ever like it needed to be before June 18th, but some kind of even keel. I haven't found that yet.
Do you like wake up in the morning ever like, oh my God, I'm late to court? And then it's like, okay, I don't have trial. Like I'm free.
I think I would if I were I live with my parents most of the time. So I'm not in the environs that I was in during court. But if I stayed at the Marriott in the Seaport, the Residence Inn, I may feel that way. I do get those moments of something that I want to tell one of the lawyers. I want to remember like, oh, these two dots connect. And then I realize, no, we don't need to know those dots connect anymore. We already addressed it. Thank God. I don't wake up thinking I've got to get to court. I wake up feeling very fortunate that I'm not court ordered to be anywhere anymore. It's very frightening to know you are court ordered. This is not a job or school where you should be there. It's best that you're there, but no one's going to come arrest you if you don't go. And this is 2 trials plus.
Why are people saying muted in the chat? There's no sound? Why is there no sound? There's no sound? Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I didn't mute shit. I didn't do anything. I'm muted? You hear me? Wait. Okay, I'll listen to Stupid April. You can hear me. Everybody says they can hear me. It's good. So what the fuck are people talking about muted? Perfectly fine, they are retards. Yeah, you guys need to come back. It's not my problem. Stop fucking up the chat with your bullshit. It's not muted. Shut up. Back to this.
100 pretrial hearings that I am court ordered. It doesn't matter how I feel physically or mentally. I have to be there, and I have to be there sharp because I'm a member of this team. So it's amazing waking up knowing no one is going to force me to be anywhere today.
What did you do the first 24 hours though after the acquittal? Like 24 hours, what was that like?
The first 24 hours.
What say, is the defendant at the bar not guilty or guilty? Not guilty. Defense operating the influence 1 year probation.
Wow.
Karen, what is life going to be like for you now?
I spent the whole ride back to the hotel. We were hearing from people at the hotel that the press and the neighborhood were already starting to gather in the parking lot. The hotel we stayed at was like a boutique style residence in a very lovely neighborhood in Seaport of Boston called Fort Point. And the local businesses, the restaurants, there was a residential building just across the street from us. It was almost the size of an alley, a very narrow street. And coincidentally, when I was in my 20s, I lived in that building. When we came back from the hotel, we tried to lose the press a few times, and I think we ended up going in a side alley door to the hotel. But I went to my room. David's room was below me, and I looked across the alley, and there were residents.
Okay, so if this, I'm getting really annoyed by this. If there is fucking sound, and people are writing this, ban them. Fucking ban. I cannot look at anymore. There is no sound shit. Either there is sound or there's no fucking sound. Just know, if there is actually sound, and you're writing no sound, I am asking the mods to ban you forever. Like, you don't get to come back because you're annoying the if there's actually no sound, that's a problem we need to fix. But if there is sound and you're writing no sound and you're spamming the chat with that shit, banned. Fucking banned. Thank you. Just know that, okay? There is fucking sound. And if you're too fucking retarded to figure out how to fucking refresh your shit, you don't get to just spam it. You're banned. Just understand that moving forward. If you go forward and you say no sound, you're fucking banned. My mods are going to be all fucking over you. If you hear no sound, okay, that's your job to figure it out. Don't come in my chat and say no sound, because there is sound. You're too fucking retarded to hear the fucking sound, and you don't get to take over the fucking chat and spam with that. Banned. Fucking banned for life. You're never coming back. You understand that? There will be no sound for you forever because you never get to listen to it again. Ever. Back to this.
The apartment building next door that had put congratulatory signs in their windows. Somebody put something with Yanetti's name. They must have known David, because it was only, well, I guess Alan was up in a corner as well, but it was a window directly. David was below me. It was right adjacent to David's room, but FKR or congrats Yanetti. So there were people that we had met in the neighborhood that were congregating. A restaurant nearby, I had orchestrated with them. I didn't make any plans until I was acquitted because there's no way I was gonna set up any kind of dinner before I actually knew I was gonna need that dinner. So I called the restaurant in the Seaport. They gave us a private room. We had been there a few times during trial, and they were amazing. No one knew we were there. And it was my meeting any kind of dinner before that we had met in the neighborhood that were congregating. A restaurant nearby, I had orchestrated with them. I didn't make any plans until I was acquitted because there's no way I was gonna set up any kind of dinner before I actually knew I was gonna need that dinner. So I called a restaurant in the Seaport. They gave us a private room. We had been there a few times during trial, and they were amazing. No one knew we were there. And it was my immediate family, my cousins who I'm particularly close to, and my legal team, and my local lawyers brought their families. And that was a very long
2 others.
It was very
I was there too.
It was very overwhelming. That's okay. My phone was blowing up. I wanted to decompress with my parents. I barely even got to speak to them, and the waiter's coming over and asking if I want to do a la carte desserts, and I'm like, I just really want to go back to the hotel and lay on my bed. We were getting requests for Good Morning America and the Today Show and People Magazine. It was all rushing. It was just flooding in, and I don't want to do any of this. I need a beat, and I need to figure out how I'm going to tackle all the media. I was very, very overwhelmed. We all went back to the hotel. All the families, my parents came back. Obviously, all the lawyers were still in town. The following day, I think Liza might have been the first to leave. David was leaving. Bob was leaving. My parents left in the morning, and Alan and I said, I just want to have a day. He was leaving the second day, 2 days after the verdict, and we just walked around, went to our haunts that we ate at during trial. And it's like, we can finally, I'm going to walk in with Alan and have a meal that I've never had with him without this albatross around my neck. I've never eaten a meal or had a bowl of chowder with any of these people as a free woman. And it was a really sunny, warm day. And I ran into someone that I used to work with at Fidelity that I hadn't seen in a long time. It was just, I felt like I was in a dream though. I wouldn't say it was like the happiest day of my life. It still hadn't like hit me yet. It just felt surreal. And I felt sad. Like, so I'm gonna go back to the hotel, pack up my things, and then where do I go? And everyone else is going, my friends are going to travel back and go back.
I mean, not to be like sexist or whatever, there are differences between men and women. Okay. And it is crazy. Like, this has to be harder for a woman than a man. We're just built differently as men. I would be scared too if I was in her shoes and whatever. But it's like, at the end of the day, men are just, we're the ones that fucking tradition. We go to war, we play football. We're just built differently than women. It is. We're the people that could take upon. It's like it's differently. Like women are gentle and like softer, you know. And like the idea of a woman being put through this experience is just different from a man being put through this experience. That's what makes her even stronger, right? Is that she is a woman who is being put through this experience. I don't care if you call that sexist, massage therapist, whatever. Like it is harder for her because it's just so unladylike to put a lady through this. You know what I mean? If you put a man through this, it's fucked up. But, you know, he's a man, you know? Whereas like you put a woman through this, like this type of, like an innocent, because she's innocent, you know? You put an innocent woman through this, and that's what makes her more impressive, right? As like a person, because it's like, bro, you're a fucking woman and you're going into court every day, acting like a fucking badass, kind of staring down Hank Brennan, you know, like bringing an attitude to court with you, and like getting into literal stare downs with Hank Brennan in court, like not giving a fuck. That's what makes her really fucking impressive, is that she's a woman going through with this kind of strength. I don't care, but at the end of the day, she's fucking human. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Is that sexist to say that? Is that like a massage therapist thing, that there's like difference between men and women, and I view her strength differently because she's a woman? Like that makes it more impressive. I'm just saying.
To work, and the lawyers are going to go to other projects, and you know, even my parents will go back to their routine, and my siblings. And it's just, where do I go? I was not planning with 100% certainty I would be here today. It's weird to live a day that you never planned on. I never made a plan for June 19th or 20th or the 21st because I didn't want to jinx anything, and I didn't know that I'd be there. I didn't even book a dentist appointment. So it's all of a sudden now I've got nothing. And just very surreal is the best word I can think to describe it.
Is it like someone just comes and like shakes your snow globe and then leaves?
Yeah, and like everything just settles, and it just gets like eerily quiet, like it does after a snowstorm.
Yeah.
Before the plows come through, it's just dark and silent, and and it's still like feels like that. I'm starting to feel my way around, like defining what my life is going to be, but it's getting easier. But I do feel I've had this delayed delayed reaction to the persecution, not delayed reaction to the acquittal. I'm finally like reacting to this horrible thing that happened to me, and I had to swallow and roll with it, and now I'm digesting it. I swallowed something horrible, and it's just sat in my body, and now I'm finally breaking it down. I feel like I'm having to address things that I swept under the carpet. Like emotionally, it's your body kicks into this fight or flight, and my body is very good. My mind is very good at kicking into fight. I work very well under stress and pressure, and it got even better. That characteristic got refined.
Yes, that is very true. She has a unique ability to fight. And because a lot of you women out there, you couldn't imagine yourself in this situation because you know she's innocent. It's a very unique situation. Like you don't doubt it. And you're like, well, man, what if that was me? You know, I think that's why so many women were involved in this movement, because like, yeah, what if that was me? I couldn't imagine that. I'm not built like that. I'm not tough like that. It's just a tough broad. That's what I did. Like I said, I did a whole rant on it this morning in the Bus Stop Live about my personal history with Kara Reed and just getting to know her like as a person. And so prior to October 11th, 2023, it was, you know, I would talk to her every day, and we would talk about the story, and it was all interesting. Everything changed after October 11th, 2023, because that was the day I was arrested. And on my way home, my dad drove me home from court that day, and I didn't have my phone. I couldn't log into my Facebook. I didn't even know what to do. And I'm like, who do I call? I don't even have anyone's number. And I'm like, well, I want to talk to Kara Reed or somebody from her camp. And so I Googled Workman Jackson, LLP, and I got their number there. And so I called them up, and Alan was in a meeting, and Liza were in a meeting, and I talked to their secretary, and they were like, yeah, they're in a meeting right now. I'm like, okay, cool. They're like, can you want to leave a message? Yeah, sure. Yeah, who's this? Yeah, it's Aidan Kearney, Turtleboy. Oh, hold on one second. Immediately, Alan and Liza leave whatever they're meeting at to come in and talk to me. And so I'm like, yeah, they're like, it's all over the fucking news. Like, yeah, like that's fucking, how you doing? Good. I'm out. I got personal recognizance. I'm out. Got arrested. It was fucking crazy. Tully was there. Tully read me my rights. It was crazy. They're like, Tully was there? Like, that's crazy. And I'm like, yeah. So, and I was just talking to them about it. And they're like, yeah, so you need to find an attorney, Aidan. I would talk to David. You know, he could reference somebody for you. And they're like, and Alan was like, yeah, I don't think it's a good idea you talk to Karen anymore. Probably best for both of you if you just, you know, if you have a question, come through us. Probably best you don't talk to her directly, right? I'm like, oh, okay. That lasted 24 hours. Because Karen Reed is not the type of client that always listens to her lawyers. As I know it's hard to believe, but she kind of just does whatever she wants. And because she does not like being restricted, as you can see. She doesn't like stifling herself. She has a very strong personality. And so she and I, the next day, I texted her from my number, okay? And I think I still have it. I don't know. Was it on Signal or text? I forget. I think it was Signal. And I might have taken, I might have taken a screenshot of it because she didn't believe it was me. Let me see if hold on. I'll share this if I have it. It's not bad. Let me see. Do I have this? October of 2023, right? Do I have this? It would have been October 11th, right? October 10th, 12th. Is this it? No, that's not it. Huh. Maybe I didn't take a screenshot. I forget. I could have sworn I did, but anyway, I messaged her and she sent me back a message that was like, was this it? Oh. Yeah, this is it. I'll show you it. I don't care. I'll show you this one. I don't give a shit. This isn't bad. Normally, I wouldn't show a private correspondence. This is kind of funny, right? And I don't know why. Whatever. This is for history, right? All right. So I guess it was October 13th I talked to her for the first time when we basically both acted like bad children and ignored it. So she said, I messaged her, or I tried calling her and she didn't answer. And she says, prove it's Aidan. And I don't know why the image isn't showing up there. But as you can imagine, I just sent her a picture of myself giving her the middle finger. And then we talked. So she did not believe it was me at first. And then we just talked and, she's like, yeah. And so one of the first things she did was, I'm like, so now we have a different sort of relationship. Now we're both kind of like cons, if you will. Before I was a reporter talking to her, to the subject of my reporting. Now we're like fellow cons, if you will, like fellow victims of the enemies of the state, victims of corruption. So now it's a totally different relationship now after October 11th that Karen Reed and I have. And it's almost like, should we be talking? Like, should we, whatever. And so, but we do anyway, because that's here. I'm still covering this case, motherfucker. This doesn't mean shit to me. And also, like, I need some advice. Like, this is my first time. You've been getting framed for, by these people for like 17 or 18 months now. Right. So we're just two criminals hanging out, talking shop, And so I'm like, I need a lawyer. I'm like, what do I do? I'd never been framed for a crime and had like felonies and shit. I don't know. What do I do? Who do I call? I don't know anyone. I don't know anyone. And so she's like, well, David can recommend some people. The first person I wanted was, I had just watched the trial 4 thing. And I'm like, I want 𝗺𝗲𝗺𝗃 𝗧𝗂𝗍𝗂𝗆. I want her. She's fucking awesome. So I called her. And, you know, she got back to me and she's like, I don't have, she's like, I'm very interested in your case. I think, she goes, one of the first things I would go with was selective prosecution. And she brought up one of the things I had done before when I outed one of the jurors from the Michael Chestnut trial. And she's like, they didn't charge you for that when you did that. And you literally put the juror's name out there that like helped, you know, got the mistrial. You put a juror's name out there and shit like that. And they didn't do anything for you for that. And so like, this is selective prosecution. That's the angle. But she would have been great. She's awesome, you know, but she was like, honestly, I don't take on clients if I can't guarantee that I'm going to give them like the attention that they need. Like I give all my clients the attention that they need. And I can't guarantee you, you know, of that. And so, you know, I'm like, okay, cool. I appreciate the honesty. And that's fine. And so I had to go elsewhere. And so she recommended Marty Weinberg was one of the people that she recommended. I called Marty Weinberg up and he's like, I'm in the middle of a trial right now. I'm very interested in this, you know, but I would need like 3 weeks. And I'm like, I don't have 3 weeks, you know? So it couldn't be him. And Marty probably wouldn't have been a good fit. He's an appellate attorney. That's what he's really good at. And I don't know if he's on Twitter. I don't like, you got to be online to be my attorney. Like you got to be online. You got to know this shit. Cause it's like that, you know, that's why 𝗵𝗏𝗺 is obviously a great fit. But so then like, I threw in a couple other names out there and she would run it by Yannetti because Yannetti is a well-connected seasoned Boston attorney who has worked in DA's offices and everything. And every name I would run by or give to her and she would run it by him. And if he thought they were legit, if he had never heard of them before, she's like, no, don't do that. And then, so I ran a bunch of names by her. And then one of the names I ran by them was Tim Bradel. And that came back positive. Like David Yannetti said, yeah, he's good. That guy, I highly recommend him. And so that's why I went with appellate attorney or appellate. I pronounced that wrong, but whatever. Reddington actually would have been a good lawyer. He like lives online. But you know, there's a personal thing there. Why am I disappearing? Anyway, so I went with Bradel. And she would always, like after the November 1st hearing with Judge Krupp did not go well. No hearing with Judge Krupp ever goes well. And like he grilled him, Mr. Bradel, do you think the First Amendment would protect you from going down the street with a bullhorn and yelling things? And does the First Amendment allow you to do a rolling rally? Does the First Amendment allow you to say, yo, Cullen, it's Turtleboy from the Advantage Boys, bang, bang. And if you recall that hearing, that was Bradel's first real hearing. And he didn't know the answers. Like he was just like, yeah, this is a First Amendment case, you know? And he didn't know the answers. It was like a trick question. You know, he didn't know. He doesn't live in Turtleboy world. He didn't know. He's caught up to speed. He knows it all now. But at the time, a lot of people were like giving him grief because it didn't go very well, you know, and the stay away orders were put in place and all this shit. And so anyway, I remember talking to Karen after that one. And, you know, she's like, yeah, you gotta, she's like my mentor. She was my mentor as being a fellow criminal. So like, you know, I'm getting prepped by another con here. And I'm like, so what happened? That didn't go well. So what do we do? And she watched it. And she's like, you gotta, you know, don't forget, they work for you. Like you're paying them good. Like you can demand meetings. Like don't be afraid to push them. Like as the client, you got to push them because they have other clients too. And like, you got to demand their attention. Like you got to get in there and you tell Tim you want to meet with him once a week and have like a weekly prep session with him. and get in there and hold him, like make sure he knows this shit, pound it into him. Cause that's what I do. And because she's a very, very involved client and she's very demanding, Karen Reed. And so like, she wants, like, that's why she needs an attorney like Jackson. Cause he fucking lives to work as opposed to works to live, you know? And that's the kind of lawyer that she needed. And so you got to do this. And so I did. And I caught him up to speed and we were getting better. And one of the days after that day, like she sent me a message from Alan Jackson and I'll never forget it. Cause it was like, I don't know if I still have it. I might still have it. Let me see if I have this. I think it was sent on must have been sent November 1st. Let me see if I have this shit. Give me one sec, because this was like a legendary message. If I can find it. Hold on. Let me search here. No. I can't find it, but anyway, if I could paraphrase it, it would be something like, you know, Alan Jackson sent a message through Karen, and it was like, here's how I would answer this question about the First Amendment. She's like, when Judge Krupp asked, like, does the First Amendment protect somebody who's like going down the street with a bullhorn doing shit like that? And he's like, here's what I would have said. You're goddamn right it does, Your Honor. Because I remember about 250 years ago, about 10 miles from here, a bunch of people took a bunch of tea and just threw it in the ocean. And you know what we call those people today? Patriots, right? Because they made noise and they did stuff. And you're goddamn right. That's First Amendment protection. You're goddamn right. And I just remember writing back to her. I'm like, can I clone him? Like, can you just make me another Alan Jackson? And she's like, no, you can't. But you can make your lawyer Alan Jackson. You know what I mean? Like you gotta advocate for yourself as a client. So she was like a mentor after October 11th for me, you know, or after I was arrested October 11th. She became like a mentor through this process, right? And then I get jammed up by the popo on Christmas Eve, right? And I contacted her about it, and she did not handle that well. She did not like that because whatever reasons. Okay, we don't need to get into that. And then I didn't talk to her for 6 months, right? And so when you're used to something like that, when you're used to talking to somebody every day who's like a mentor to you, who you admire, who you feel like is kind of like a friend, but more than anything, you like kind of look up to them and you just admire the strength and whatever. And then you talk to them every fucking day. And then you're just cut off, right? You're cut off and you can't talk to, obviously I'm not calling Karen Reed from jail. It's freaking, they're recorded phone calls from jail. They record everything and they tell you they're recording. So obviously I can't call her because, you know, goddamn Tully will have a boner over that. And so on January 8th, that was the day where I had the restraining order hearing. And, you know, it was my first day out. You got to get out of jail. You get to go to court. And it was like a 6.5 hour hearing. And although I got to tell my story for the first time, I lost. And I remember that was my worst night in jail. That was my worst day because going back to jail, like it just sucks because the judge granting that order to me was like saying, I believe you hit her. You know what I mean? Like, I believe you're a domestic abuser. That's the way I took that. And I'm not a domestic abuser. And so that's why I was like really depressed by that. And then you get back to jail and I'm like, the only person that I want to talk to right now is Karen Reed. That's it. I don't want to talk to anybody but her because she's the only person that can understand me right now. And I can't talk to her. And that's what made it doubly hard, right? Is like, she's literally the only person that could, if I had a bad day in court, like on November 1st, I would talk to her and she would raise my spirits, right? I don't care if this is corny. She would make me feel better about it and make me feel more confident because she's always so fucking confident. You know, she's had so many setbacks in all the pretrial stuff. Like every time they wanted a Rule 17 hearing, she would fucking lose, right? Every time like they wanted to access to someone's phone, they would lose. And it seemed so unfair. And it's just like, but yet she kept going. You know, how do you keep? And so I'm having some setbacks here. Who else would I want to talk to but the queen of setbacks? That like, who else can like make you feel better about yourself? And like, I don't know. And so let me see if I can find this Boston Magazine article. Boston Magazine, Turtleboy. They did a whole piece on me. And yeah. So I gave the reporter, Catherine Elton, access to my, I kept like a journal in jail, my thoughts. And I gave it to her. I'm like, yeah, sure. Knock yourself out. You want to write the complete story? Go ahead. Here you go. And I forgot that on January 8th, when I got back to my jail cell, I knew Jennifer Altman was the only person that had connections to Karen Reed still that could like pass a message along. And so I wrote her a letter. I handwritten and I dictated it to Jen Altman and she sent it to Karen Reed. And my spirits were lifted later on when I talked to Jennifer Altman later on, and she read to me Karen's response. And I didn't write it down or I didn't record it. So I could probably get that call. Actually, I was back when Jennifer Altman had protected calls, so I couldn't get that call because they thought there was a mix up with her being a paralegal. And so then Mello tried taking my calls away. But so she wrote me back some sort of message that was like, Aidan, like, the FBI and the Department of Justice here's a list of people they have taken down. And it was like, she named all these like mobsters and shit like that and Whitey Bulger and this and that. And if you don't think they're going to get these people, you're wrong. Like, and that just made me feel better because I'm like, don't overshare. I will share whatever the fuck I want to, and you will sit there and fucking hear it. You understand there? You don't get to determine content on the show. I overshare all the fucking time. It's my brand. Okay. And so anyway, so it just, the confidence again, like, it's like that's exactly what I wanted to hear. That like, don't forget, this is a temporary thing. You're in jail right now. They're going to jail later. And they didn't end up going to jail, obviously, but you needed that mentality to like get through it. You know, you needed to think positive. You needed to think that this is temporary and they're going to get them. They're going to get them. And that was the confidence that I needed to hear. She's a very confident person. And so let me see here. Like, so this is the Boston Magazine article that they wrote about me. And I think Journalism Jesus. That's awesome. What the fuck happened here? Lacrosse game, free Karen Reed. Now hit rock bottom. He was devastated being separated from his two children, this article says. A 9-year-old daughter, Allie, and a 6-year-old daughter, Brady, locked up. He was suffering from depression, unable to take his Adderall. He's been prescribed for so long. He wasn't sleeping well, no internet access. He'd never struck his girlfriend, and his ex-girlfriend claims she was mentally unstable, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay. My personal life was in chaos, he said that day, but I'm not a criminal. There's the crowd outside when I was released from jail. Nice to see. He was a political prisoner, he said. Then they talk about ratchets and the history of Turtleboy and okay, unrepresented. Is this where they got the idea for the goddamn Lifetime movie? Was this picture? Because that looks a lot like it. Anyway, I want to see if we can get here. Oh, my mother died about a month after this article was published, but she had some good quotes in here. At Worcester South High School, he photobombed every club yearbook, including the Asian club. That's true. Kearney's antics earned him attention, but almost made him very familiar with the inner confines of the principal's office. My mother said he was more challenging than all of my other 6 kids combined. He was the kind of kid who would push the envelope a little bit or color outside the lines. There is one in every family that makes you wonder, where did he come from? Yeah. His father, Kearney's shared his parents' conservative politics, but in other ways, he wasn't like them. His father, Kevin, earned a PhD in biochemistry from Yale, and his mother told me she would rather take a course in Shakespeare than look at a computer screen, much less her son's YouTube show. Kearney, on the other hand, didn't like reading and had a C's and D's get degrees attitude at UMass Amherst. He became a teacher, blah, blah, blah. We know all about that. Called into sports shows. The history of Turtleboy, got, as a teacher. There's me. Oh, there's Turtleboy. All right, let me see if we can get to the part I'm talking about. There's a lot. This is long. Gutter Muffet, Wareham, Welfare Wombats, Fupa Sloths. Okay. We won some awards. Facebook history. This is a really good article. They did a lot of research. Monica Cannon Grant. We got to get to her. She's being sentenced January 29th. I will be there. Okay. Love them or hate them. Can I have a photo of you? A woman said when we went out. Want to make it a selfie? That would be wonderful. All right. A bartender. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Talk to people. Donald Trump somehow is brought up here. Okay. Don't know what that has to do with it, but we ain't got no quit. Yeah. All right. Okay. Then it gets into coverage of the Reed story. This is a really good article. This is thorough. Holy shit. He's convinced an ongoing FBI investigation of the crime will eventually prove him right. I said, but I like to think that with the Karen Reed story, I've rebranded. When I look back 10 years from now at this Karen Reed thing, it's something my kids can be proud of because I stood by my principles and I stood up for an innocent woman against a corrupt system. Exactly. Exactly. I'm an entertainer, but I'm also a journalist, he told the Boston Globe, and I'm also an activist. People like this new whatever thing I've created where you get to wear all these hats. Right. Then they talk to Randazza, some journalist people. Okay, so this is the part. Here we go. Even Kearney himself, this is the part I'm talking about. Even Kearney himself appears to have recognized this mistake. So anyway, there's another basic tenet of journalism that he's violated. As his First Amendment lawyer, Mark Randazza, pointed out, due to Kearney's actions and their ensuing legal consequences, he has become a part of the story. Even Kearney himself appears to have recognized this mistake. A month into his jail time, after attending a hearing in his case, he pulled out a black composition notebook that he used as a prison journal and penned a letter to Karen Reed. It was an apology for letting her down by distracting her from her own legal troubles. After yesterday's hearing, all I wanted to do was cry, he said. The only person I wanted to speak to after court was you. You are more than just a brave person I write about. You're my friend and someone I have confided in, and the person whose advice to me means more to me than anyone. Not being able to talk to you made it more painful. I knew that if I could speak to you, that you alone would tell me something that could cheer me up. You always do. You are so wise and so smart. You are my hero. And then she says, by the tone of what he wrote, which Boston has seen and was dictated to Reed through a mutual friend, Kearney says. Kearney appears to have broken yet another rule of journalism. Don't become enamored with the people you cover. Yeah, I mean, you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to become enamored with the people that you cover, but I was impressed by her, you know, and, you know, reading those comments, it's like, that's like, but shit was real, man. That's how I really felt. And you know me, I'm a pretty honest and upfront person. That's how I really felt about her. Okay. And some people are looking at that and they're like, what, are you fucking in love with her or some shit? No, I'm impressed. I was impressed by her. I looked at her as like an older sister. You know what I mean? Bigger, not older, bigger, big sister. Like, that's how I looked at it. Like, or I don't know, just somebody that you just look up to as a mentor. That's the only way I can fucking describe it. And that was a bad night, January 8th, 2024, because I'm in jail. I got 45 more days left in jail. And that was a bad fucking night. I just felt like I was, you know, that I was validated as like a domestic abuser by the judge, etc. And, you know, it's like, this shit's real, man. This is the fucking history of it all. And she wrote back. And she wrote back some really uplifting, exactly what I wanted to hear. And it made me feel better. Because like I said in the letter, you alone are the only person I want to talk to. You alone can make me feel better. Because I admired this person. And I still do.
During the last 4 years. But you can't do that to your body and to your mind without paying the piper eventually. And that's, I feel like I've had to do that.
Have you ever like dealt with depression during the trial, even now?
No, I've never really dealt with it ever. I don't know if it's depression or if it's like PTSD. But no, I didn't feel, I was angry most of the time, angry. And I felt very lucky that it's a disservice to the people around me who are the most amazing people anyone could ask for. And I'm not inclined to depression, so I'm not surprised. I mean, I went through a normal grieving process, but I didn't feel down that I had to sell my house and everything in it that I curated myself. I felt, you know, and I had a conversation with Alan that don't look at it as, you know, the government is robbing you of this. Like they're using your taxes to prosecute you, and you're having to go through every asset and liquidate it. Look at it as an investment you made before you ever knew you'd be in this situation, and now it's paying off when you need it. And you're going to use this house to save your life. And you know, I get a lot of words of wisdom, but they don't all resonate, and that did. But I think I really just feel that I've been running on endorphins that are now the spigot just shut off, and I've got to inspire myself in ways like everybody else wakes up. And I look at everyone around me like, get up and live lives and find inspiration, or physically and mentally. But I just have to do that like a normal person now, like retrain it.
Yeah. There's actually some people, perhaps a lot of people out there that
like, she's like grizzled, you know what I mean? Like, she's like been through some shit that no other, she's hard, you know, like, and I don't know, I'm not like a psychologist or a therapist or anything like that, but like, it ain't normal to be like that, to be like so grizzled that you can't, like she said, she doesn't suffer from depression. That's correct. And any normal person would suffer from depression from what she's been through. The fact that she says she doesn't, I don't know if she sees a shrink or anything like that, but it would be very normal to suffer from depression after everything she's been through. And I just think that when you have this like kind of rough exterior, I don't know. I just think she's really fucking grizzled. That would be a good word to describe Karen Reed. Very grizzled.
Think you are sitting on a beach, you are cashing in on a book deal, a documentary deal. Like they think that you are good, you're set, you're enjoying your life. Is that what it really is like?
So we have announced that we're working with a publisher. This is Luke Janklow, and a producer in Los Angeles. That's Julie Orn on the movie and TV side of things. So I've only announced that I have agents and I have these producers helping me to sell this. I have made nothing on the documentary. In fact, I lost trying to fight for a piece of the proceeds from the documentary. I went into the documentary thinking that there was this Son of Sam law in Massachusetts, which prevents defendants from profiting. Or, you know, you can't commit a crime and then write a book from prison and send your kids to college on the back of this crime. There is no Son of Sam law in Massachusetts, which we found out in the middle of making this deal with the documentaries, which was great. So I can get paid at any point in this.
She got fucked over hard by the doc. Like, and I would have told her that. She signed the documentary deal when I was in jail. We had discussed this because Natalie was the one pushing the doc thing, all her Hollywood connections and all this shit, you know, but, you know, I always thought that, because docs don't have to pay you. She did it all for free because she just wanted to have her word out there. It's like, again, I've criticized Karen Reed, whatever. I made mistakes. I still feel like I can be like, that was a dumb decision. Like, am I allowed to say that and still be drama free? I think she would be the first to agree with that. Like, you shouldn't do that shit for free. Like, I know you want to get your work, your voice out there, all that shit, but like, people would have paid you, in my opinion, because the documentary I have deal, I'm getting paid for that when it comes out. Like, of course I am. So there's that
process. Even if I were convicted, we were not paid. I was not paid. No member of my team was paid. Anything from the documentary was very legally
5 to 8.
involved.
I think it's 5 to 8. 5 to 8.
I believe I was misled and taken advantage of, and we gave the documentarian our all. I did not see the documentary. I watched.
I don't know if she's doing this for free. I certainly fucking hope not. I hope this isn't for free. This chick's got a lot of money, I'm sure.
The end of the final episode, I don't know if there are 4 or 5. David, several people told me that was a nice moment with David and me at the end of the last episode. So I did watch that and I liked it. And then I watched Dave and I said goodbye at the hotel. And then the documentary ended with me in my basement at the house I no longer live in with all the legal boxes, because the documentary ended at the mistrial. So I think she was trying to show, here I am just back, stuck at go again with our paper shredder and our printers. And I think I was like vacuuming the floor, and I was like, all right, I've seen enough. People close to me who watched the documentary said, based on what I had predicted it would be, it was not that. And I thought, this documentary experience has not been fun. It was incredibly invasive, which I knew it would be, but we still gave them more access than they could have ever hoped for. And the documentarian, I feel, went out of her way to excise us from enjoying not one dime of the proceeds. And based on what little I saw and what I've heard of the product, I don't need your money. You know what you did. You know what we gave you every day. My family, you were in our living quarters. You were in the SUV with us every day. You know what we gave you, and you know what kind of story you had from us, and you used us. You know you did. And I wish just never to cross paths with you again. I will tell my story with more control. We don't have a book deal. I think Alan and I will be co-authors on a book. There will be no book written by someone, even with just some creative input by me. It will be written by probably 3 people, a professional, and then Alan and I will be helping to tell the story. So I want this to be a story about corruption. I want to have some impact on the state where I've lived most of my life and where my family's from and where we battled this. I want to make an impact on what people think about politics, about the government, about the dangers of a one-party political system, which is what Massachusetts is. It's not about liberal or conservative. It's about being one party from the founding of that government with no competition, no checks and balances. It becomes almost anarchy, like it is now. We've got a district attorney who has a war chest despite not having any opposition. It's dangerous, and I believe that is why I got where I was and why I got into this position, and why until it changes, there will be other Karen Reeds. You may not hear about them. These stories, Sandra Birchmore, it's getting exposed. Other people are exposing it as well. That's what this story will be. Okay. And if I have to write it myself, then I'll write it myself.
Even on that note, I do feel like I've heard a lot about you. I've heard a lot of clips of you. I've watched the whole documentary series, Body in the Snow, and I feel like you're very different from that. The way that you're presented in the documentary and then versus like when you walked in.
I've gotten very good, and I was not good at this in my prior life. I've gotten very good at controlling what I let upset me, because so much has been taken from my control with a judge, with a district attorney, with the state police. I've been arrested. I've had my home 2 years later searched for electronics. Once someone comes in your home, you have no safe place anywhere. They've been in my parents' home. They've been in my house 3 times. So I've had to learn to control what I can control, which means not falling down a rabbit hole on Twitter, not reading comments on a video on YouTube. And I knew I had an idea where this documentary was going before it came out. We ended the relationship with Terry, the documentarian, on a very bad note, over money, of course. I had former students from Bentley. I had former colleagues. I had friends that traveled on their dime to interview for this documentary. These are people who knew me in all sorts of facets of life that I was then told those interviews didn't make it in.
They didn't make it in, yeah.
But John's sister-in-law, who, to the best of my knowledge and to everyone's knowledge, I would guess, knows they didn't have the tightest relationship. Or a friend of his, there's been 2 friends of his. I have never
Brendan Kane.
I was with John nearly every day for 2 years. I had dated him 20 years before that. And there's some guy and an old girlfriend who I never met.
Tara
This is the
Kerrigan.
closest you could find to John. People
Tara
who never
Kerrigan.
saw John and me interact. And yet I gave you
See, this is when I like her, when she just rips into fucking these people. I love when she does this, when she just rips into fucking. She told me that it's like, oh, Beth, what's her name? Resendez. She's like, oh, John just called her Hot Pocket. Hot Pocket. I love when Karen Reed gets vicious with these people. It just fucking rips into them. You've seen some of the texts that have been released. I think she calls Carrie Roberts a cunt. I fucking love that. That's my favorite Karen Reed, when she's ripping into the McAlberts.
friends. I gave you people from my parish, students, colleagues, and none of it made it in. So
Yeah.
when the documentary came out, and I can't even remember when that was, I made a concerted effort. I will not watch that. What is the point to get upset? Because I know what didn't make it in. And people come up to me all the time that I saw the documentary. It was, wow, what a story it told. And I can't believe what you went through. But my family and friends that saw it, no one's raved about it because they don't feel it portrayed me. But I'm not surprised I was cast in a light that is not realistic.
Yeah. During our 4-part series on Karen Reed's case, I mean, that's over like 10 hours long. Just with the sheer amount of people with that nickname, we called Brian Higgins, Brian Haha Higgins, Michael Proctor, Michael No Nudes Proctor. That was literally just so people could have an idea of who we're talking about when we mention a name. If I do that, that is not Karen poking fun at anyone. I honestly should probably prefer that I don't use these nicknames, but I probably will throughout this episode. And on top of that, another disclaimer is Karen is right now involved in multiple civil lawsuits involving a ton of different people. So there might be some questions that she cannot answer legally, and that's just for legal purposes. So with that being said, what do you think happened to John O'Keefe?
John O'Keefe entered the garage or the house at 34 Fairview, and much sooner than later, met his demise. Based on his injuries, it looks to me like he got into a fight and fell backwards. There was not a single pathologist in either trial that didn't say the mortal wound came from falling backwards and hitting his head. That was agreed on. He had bruises on his hands. The prosecution tried to say that those came from IVs, but I've had many IVs. I've had them in my hands. My hands never looked like that. But I dropped him off. He went up to the breezeway, and 6 a.m., I find him in a heap, missing his hat, missing his shoe, and laying there with a piece of glass in his face. So someone in that house killed John O'Keefe.
The Alberts have stated that they were asleep. And there's footage of you. There's body cam footage of you like screaming, dash cam footage. How loud were you screaming? Because there's all these comments about, oh, the wind, the blizzard.
I've done research, and my understanding is that the snow can muffle sounds. I don't need to wonder if Brian Albert and Nicole Albert were awake. According to the Commonwealth's own witness, mine as well, but theirs as well, Ian Whiffen, Nicole Albert at 5 a.m. has an answered phone call from Jen McCabe. Answered and deleted. Furthermore, Nicole Albert at 6:07 a.m. and 6:08 a.m. has 2 more phone calls, each lasting about 7 seconds, from Jen McCabe, answered and deleted. This is not conjecture. This is not my theory. This is in the data.
Yep.
Pour over my phone records. By the way, I had no deleted calls, no
None.
deleted Google searches.
None.
I actually didn't have any Google searches at all. But I know from the data, according to the data, unless the data is wrong, and this is 𝗃𝗏 was just used to help convict Brian Walsh of murdering his wife. The same 𝗃𝗏 used by law enforcement globally is telling me that Nicole Albert's phone answered a call from her sister at 5 a.m. and then 2 more at 6 a.m. So that would lead me to assume that Nicole Albert was awake.
Have you guys ever tried to recreate the quote unquote butt dials?
No, because it's not possible.
It's very possible. It's possible to try to create it. It is impossible to actually do it. I fucked a Raggedy Ann doll like 2 weeks after I got out of jail. Remember that? I tried it. Oh, give it to me. Fucking Brian, give it to me. He did a whole thing on that. She is crazy. It's impossible. It's like a joke. It is a joke. And everything she says there is true. I loved when she does shit like this. When she's just like, I never deleted shit in my phone. I'm the one that's on trial, right? I'm the one that's supposedly like the criminal mastermind. How come there's nothing in my phone deleted? Nothing. How come everything that's deleted is in their fucking phones and they have nothing to hide? It was just that's a big part of what drew me in on this, was just like, why is so much shit deleted? And this person who's supposed to be like the bad guy has nothing deleted. and there's nothing to hide at all. You know, it's such a joke.
It's not possible. I have called people, and we jokingly, my friends and I, and my family and I, we say butt dial when we mean, like, I may be scrolling through my call log, and I accidentally activate that name and it calls, or someone sent me their number on Instagram and I went to press it down and copy it so then I could save it in my contacts and it called them. And then I'll say, haha, butt dial. But it wasn't an actual accidental phone call made while the phone was completely inert. That's what they're saying butt dials are. Even if you're able to inadvertently make a phone call, they're all doing it in the middle of the night. All of them. Higgins is saying he made a butt dial. Brian Albert is saying it was a butt dial.
Well, it's kind of like a butt dial.
I believe I used the word butt dials.
Well, I used a phrase that people commonly used as a butt dial.
Not just a butt dial, but a butt answer and a butt hang up on both ends. So you're saying you accidentally called him, he accidentally answered, he accidentally hung up, and then you accidentally hung up. Jen McCabe said the slew of phone calls to John at 1:15, between 12:30 and 1 o'clock, she had over a dozen phone calls to John. She's claiming those were all butt dials. What are the chances these people who were together all night are engaging in, if you count them, somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 butt?
I'll be right back. I gotta take a leak real quick. Hold on. Be right back. Listen to a fucking I'll be right back. Be quicker. Hold on. All right, we're back. Let's do it. A few more minutes of this.
Butt phone actions, answering, dialing, hanging up. They appear, they meaning the Alberts, McCabe's, and Higgins, appear to have kept it simple and agreed to several mantras, and just those mantras. One of them was butt dials, and the other, I don't recall, or not that I recall.
I don't remember.
I don't recall.
I don't remember. I don't recall my interview.
I don't recall.
I do not recall having. I don't recall.
I don't remember.
I don't remember if I was tired.
If they were coached, it was smart. Keep it simple. Because when they start to add details to their renditions of what happened that night, they're completely inconsistent. Brian Higgins said his Jeep was parked in front of the house. He backed it up. He had a plow. He went into great detail, and he jokingly plowed some snow for Brian and Nicole to pull in, and then Matt and Jen, and then he V'd out and pulled in front of the house by the mailbox. Yet Jen McCabe didn't see the car, and she was apparently on night watch at the front door and never saw a Jeep with a plow, which is something memorable. Ryan Nagel, Ricky D'Antonio, and Heather Maxson were behind me. They never saw the Jeep. So my point being, their group thought is simple, but as soon as you require details from these people, their stories are all over the place.
Do you think Chloe, the Albert German Shepherd, is still alive?
This is the question I get asked the most.
She hates this
is
question.
What happened to the dog? And I realize I do not have a dog.
She would always get pissed off. She's like, I don't care. Why does everybody care about the fucking dog so much? Like, what? Yeah, you got bit by a fucking dog. Like, she would get. Don't ask her about the dog.
I realize this is where society is. A lot of us love dogs more than we love people, or just as much. But I get this answer, this question constantly. I have no idea. What happened to Chloe? Based on what I know, I would guess the dog is dead. I don't believe it's the dog they claim it is up in New Hampshire. We asked for proof, and all they get.
She keeps saying New Hampshire. It's Vermont. Chloe's in Vermont. Remember? But you're right. She's right here. They're like, listen to this.
It was animal control vaccination records that I can literally go to animal control and get a copy of the vaccination records. And this woman in New Hampshire, who we have no address, no phone call, no phone number for, she's claiming this is the dog. This was his birthday, and this is his vaccination. Well, Anybody can get that.
At what point in the investigation did you feel like, okay, this is not an investigation into a tragic accident? I'm being framed. Like, what is there a moment, a specific moment?
Yeah, you guys, like people. So because people like dogs. Like, is the dog alive? She thinks the dog's dead. I don't know why people. It's just I don't know. I go back and forth, and is the dog alive? Because I'm like, they really didn't have to kill the dog. They could just send her away somewhere. I don't fucking know. It's like even at this point, it would mean shit anyway. Like Karen always said, what does it matter? It's like the dog's not. If the dog is alive, we wouldn't be able to prove the fucking dog. You know what I mean? John's got dog bites on his arm. Doctors are going to testify to it. What do we need the dog for? You know. At this point, like doesn't matter. It's not like she's got fucking John's DNA on her fucking teeth still. You know, 3 years later. You know, but I don't know. Like they probably had to kill the dog. The dog's dead. The dog's definitely dead.
It's you. So they had my phone in my car within a half hour of coming to my parents' house. So they left my parents at 4:15 on January 29th. They took my phone and they took the car. I was hoping desperately, this is a case of they've got the wrong guy. Yeah. I'm arrested on February 1st. I spend the night in a holding cell, and then I'm arraigned the next morning. I hadn't met in person Dave Dianetti, but I'd already engaged with him on January 29th. He comes to the holding cell at the courthouse in Stoughton, and he has one copy of the police report that Michael Proctor authored. He's holding the police report. Now, they're already calling my case at 9 a.m. It's like 9:10, and I don't know what I'm walking into. I don't know what they have against me. I don't know anything. David is holding the police report, and we're reading it together. They only gave him one copy. So his hands between the bars. I'm leaning in, and we're reading it quick. I don't know how I had the focus to even comprehend and read at that moment. It was like just another fight or flight. Focus, Karen. This is about to be read in front of a courtroom filled with people. The first thing that stood out to me was, it said they arrived at my parents' house, Proctor and Buchnick, arrived at my parents' house at 4:30 p.m. and left at 5:30 p.m. And I knew right away that was wrong. I've lived in New England most of my life.
By the way, new poll is up. This is actually a really important part of the interview right here. But new poll is up. Is Chloe alive or dead? But also, this is a really important part of the interview.
5:30 in the middle of January is pitch black outside. 4:30 p.m. is almost pitch black outside. And I knew when they left my house, my parents' house, it was still somewhat light outside because I remember watching the flatbed with my truck go by the front window. I knew they had gotten to the house around 3 o'clock, and I knew they weren't there for 2.5 hours. So I thought, well, maybe this is how police reports are written initially in a cursory fashion, that they're approximate times, and then we can tighten timelines later. But that always bothered me. And then every affidavit that was accompanying every seizure of evidence after that kept saying the same thing, that on January 29th, we went to the house in Dighton at 4:30, we left at 5:30. So that was the first time I thought, all right, we're dealing with very sloppy, imprecise police. That was my first inkling that this isn't completely
This is interesting.
After I was released from the arraignment on February 2nd, that evening, David Dianetti called me and said he had gotten an anonymous phone call from.
So like, this is interesting because I'd never heard, this is new. I'd never heard this. Like the evolution of how she realized that Proctor was corrupt was like, she noticed in the report that it says the car is towed at 5:30, and she knew it wasn't towed at 5:30 because she knew it was light. She saw it was light when she went outside, and it was towed in the flatbed, and that matters a lot. But she didn't think much of it. She's like, oh, they're just lazy. Like they just fucked up. They rounded up, you know, and then it changes. Listen to this.
Someone saying, you need to pay attention to who lives in the house. I had not even thought about the Alberts. I not one way or the other, just that I knew that was their house, and they had been with us the night before, and I had met them for the first time a week before that. So it was very early on. I've been lucky that very early on and at regular intervals since, I have been given gifts of information that helped buoy me. Yeah. I can't tell you, hearing that information from David, and so of course, as soon as David says, this anonymous caller says, look at the owner of the house, I start Googling Brian Albert, and it's within seconds, I find a Google video of him in a boxing ring beating people up. And he looks, I've met him, but I haven't paid much attention to him, but he sounds gruff, and he's walking into some drug bust with some kind of shield and weapon.
Imagine what this felt like. 3 days earlier, John's dead. You're in jail. You were just arrested. You're like, no, I don't remember doing this. You know, like I feel like I would remember this. Doesn't make any sense. Then some guy, Steve Scanlon, comes in. And he's like, you might want to look at the people in the house. And you start looking at them. And that's the first video you see of Brian Albert beating the shit out of people. God, imagine what that felt like when it all starts clicking. Like, when you start realizing what happened. You know, I didn't realize this till 15 months later when I took an interest in the story. But for her, it starts clicking 3 days into it. Like 3 days after John dies, for the first, she has a revelation. She knew something was up, but then Steve Scanlon comes in. He's like, you need to look. Who's a friend of Brian Albert. And he's like, you should look at the guys in the house. Now, he can deny saying that now today because he doesn't want Brian Albert to think he's a snitch, but he is. And think of what that felt like for her when this starts coming together and you start realizing what has happened here. Like, John, so they beat the shit out of him and they did it, and they know that they did it, and they know I did, therefore they know I didn't do it. Think of what that felt like. Like, that's fucking crazy. And then you're like, well, you know, like if I was in that position, I'm like, well, the police will figure this out. The police aren't going to let me go down. Oh, yes, they are. They have the police.
And he looked like a tough, mean guy. Mind you, though, at this time, I didn't know John's injuries in detail. When I found him, he had a cut on his nose on his left side, and he had a cut above his right eye. He had blood coming out of his nose, and his eyes were like eggs. But I didn't know if he had broken ribs or his femur was sticking out of his body. I mean, it didn't seem to be, but I didn't know if he had internal bleeding. I didn't know until I saw the hospital photos in May how obvious it was that this body was not hit by a car or anything like a car, and this body looks like it was beaten up. So it was every couple months. So we got that tip. We didn't get much. March and April of 2022 were very tough. John was in my life so much, so thickly, and then he wasn't anymore. It was the only relationship I've had, and I've had many that, and I'm 45, and I've been dating since I was a teenager, that ended with such finality. I can't call him when I'm out in Boston at 1 a.m. when the bar closes like I did when I was in my 20s. I can't miss him in a few weeks and say, just thinking of you, or can I drop by and see you? I've never been forced to deal with such finality. I've never had a death that close to me. So March and April were difficult. There just wasn't anything going on. We weren't getting any police reports. I still didn't know what they were using to charge me. And it was in May that they finally released the photos that were taken of him at the hospital, and then the autopsy, which two different events.
So she gets the autopsy reports in May. Now, the grand jury had began in April and into May, and you might have seen Grant Smith Ellis and others. There are impounded text messages between various witnesses, including Kerry Roberts and the district attorney's office, Steve Nelson. And as you know, I have been teasing these for a while. I've been unable to talk about them because they're impounded. I've given all of these messages, of course, to an individual who I trusted and who worked on my legal defense, and who kind of cataloged everything for me and organized everything into a Google Drive, and was very organized, and has decided that she's taking it upon herself to just release these to the public. So you may have seen some of these out there, the messages that Kerry Roberts and others are sending to the district attorney's office, you know, during like, that was the thing, Detective McCabe. Like, is that a story I would have liked to have broken? Certainly. But, you know, she wanted to steal my thunder and just punish me a little bit more, I guess. You know, so it's out there, you know, but eventually I will report it my way, and we will get the story out there the Turtleboy way, not through like gay ass Twitter leaks and stuff like that. We'll actually report it. And yeah, that is what they called her. They called her Detective McCabe. Like that's what Steve Nelson called Jennifer McCabe, was Detective McCabe. That seems inappropriate.
And it was very obvious to me. This is not what they're claiming. There's a cracked taillight on my car, and John is pristine from the neck down, with the exception of his right arm. And coupling that, and David continued to get this anonymous tip to look at Brian Albert. Coupling those together, it gave me hope that I may be able to figure out what happened.
We saw the footage of the second arrest, which was probably one of the more shocking pieces of footage connected to your case. You had no idea that they were coming, because you're just in short pajamas and you're begging to change before they take you in. And then eventually they mock you because you beg to change. And they're like, look at how much she cares about being on TV. Have you seen the footage?
I have seen stills of it, but I've steered clear. It is very difficult for me. And I've warned my parents not to. I think my dad just watches everything, but I've warned them not to. I'm being charged with second-degree murder now?
That's correct.
I have no idea what this is about now.
It's about the same exact incident, okay? Where's the medication?
Can I use the ladies' room?
I understand. We're going to get all your parents and then come over and retrieve any item you need at once. Yep.
I can't put
Hold on. What about the shoe wear? What kind of footwear do you wear?
anything, but can I don't even have underwear. Can I put pants on?
And again, your parents can come over here and retrieve anything. We'll get that medication for you. And
Can I put pants on, please?
Can you just step over the side, please? Where are your pants?
At the foot of my bed. Can I take a pair of sheets?
Okay. And in the meantime, let's follow this people right here, all right?
But where can I put my pants on?
At the barracks.
Can I put them on before I go out of my house, please?
That's not part of our procedure. Once
Can
someone's
I put pajamas?
you have a chance to change. Through the barracks. Have a seat there for me. You gotta put that foil, the lock. Exactly. She's more concerned with this on TV. Yeah. I'm still recording, just so you know. Okay.
I have seen the footage from my own backyard camera after I was arrested the first time. And once I started to figure out what was happening, I was frightened. I was frightened about who was on the other side, who was on the law enforcement side that is trying to pin this on me, and who killed John that could be in my...
Yeah, I mean, if Karen Reed's listening, I have no idea what Karen Reed's relationship is certain with individuals, but she's been screwed over by people like Natalie before. And I hope she knows that you cannot allow an individual who does stuff like this around anything sensitive at all. You're in danger. Don't cut ties. That's what I would
backyard
recommend.
right now. Yeah. And then I learned about Sandra Birch more. I did worry. I live alone. I'm like a sitting duck. Yeah. Will I be hanging from a doorknob in my house? Yeah. And they could easily explain it as guilt, depression over what had happened, and she just gave up. So the first 6 months of 2022 were difficult. I had not even been explained to the concept of an upcharge. My understanding was you get indicted on what you were charged for. I didn't realize that the district attorney can present anything he wants to the grand jury, and they can charge me with anything. They could have charged me with also breaking into the Albert's house and stealing their TV set while I was parked outside. I didn't realize that, and shame on me that I didn't learn that. I was trying to learn as much as I could. During these months, I was reading a book every couple of days just about the criminal justice system and defending yourself and how this works. But June 9th, I was home alone, like I was most days. I would do yard work. I'd put headphones in. I'd wait for one of the lawyers to call. I had been mowing the lawn. I hadn't showered yet. I was wearing boxers, and I actually just had a tank top on. I didn't have any underwear on. And I came in from doing yard work, and I decided I was going to cook for myself. I mean, this was my catharsis. I would go outside. I tried to get sun. I did a lot of, ask my neighbors. I was out in my yard every day, just trying to sweat, at least physically tire myself out so I could sleep at night. And I was cooking. I was trying to eat well. So I was making a pot of chili.
You smoke pot instead.
I was finishing everything up. I had music on, and all of a sudden I hear voices, and I lower the music. I go to the front door, and my windows are open. My storm door is closed, but the screen is up. And I heard a voice say, "Let's do this in the back. There's cameras out front." I had a very clear, it wasn't a Ring doorbell. It was a higher end private security system, but there was a very visible camera over the front door. But I also had them 360 around my whole property. So I heard that voice, "Let's do this around back. There's cameras out here." I see two cops. I couldn't make out who they were, but I could see them walking around by the garage of my property, which kind of requires you to go down into the driveway. The garage sits under the house, and then up a hill into my backyard. So I start shaking. I look out a window. I see there's a Mansfield, the town I lived in, Mansfield, Massachusetts, cruiser. And then I think 2 unmarked cars. Maybe there was a third. And I thought that something's happening. The first person I see, now I'm looking out the back window. I'm reaching for my cell phone. I see Michael Proctor in plain clothes walking by himself. Now, he's soon to be followed by Buchnick and another state trooper, I believe, and a Mansfield cop. I think the state police have to call in local assist whenever they're in a different jurisdiction.
She's out back. Outside? Yeah. There's somebody in the house. Yeah.
For a split second, I thought Michael Proctor was there to hurt me. I had no idea. Why is he here? Why is he in plain clothes? Why is he at my back door, which is almost in the woods? There's no inviting path to my back door. You'd have no reason to go looking for my back door. I called David Yannetti, and it's just like a dream where you just can't dial the number, or you're trying to text and you can't get the text right. And it's like that in real life. Like your hands are shaking, and I think I dialed his number like 3 or 4 times before I finally was able to dial it correctly. And I said, "David, Proctor's here. There's police here. I don't know what they're doing." And I can't remember if David told me that he had just gotten a phone call that I was indicted, or if he guessed they may have just indicted you. I knew that they were close to, I was hearing through the grapevine that people were testifying. So I can't remember exactly what David said to me. I think I either called my dad. I think I called my dad. And I said, "Daddy, I think I'm getting arrested again." And my poor dad, I know that was one of the worst moments of this whole thing, because we were just completely bewildered. what now?
I mean, they could have. These people are such animals. They did the same with me. It's like, bro, you could just send a summons. We'll come in, turn myself in. This whole fucking dog and pony show. It's like, we're going to arrest them now, and like, you know, we're gonna send the SWAT team to us. SWAT team, like, she would have gone in, bro. You know, she would have gone in.
So I take the phone. It's still dialed in. I'm connected to David.
I'm in my pajamas. I don't even have shoes on. I'm being charged with second-degree murder now.
That's correct. Ideal homicide and leaving the scene causing death and boiling.
I walk outside. One of the first things that happens, Proctor's reading me. He's reading me my rights, and he's telling me that I've been charged with murder. And 𝗃𝗏, in the middle of all this, I'm on sensory overload, but I'm trying to absorb what's going on. 𝗃𝗏 takes my cell phone and goes, I'll be taking that. And he puts the cell phone, still connected to David Yannetti, in his pocket. There is no search warrant for that phone.
Wow.
That is not the phone I had on January 29th. They already
Oh, I did not know that. I was listening to this in the car on the way down. I was not watching it. I've never seen that before. That's fucking crazy. See, learned something from this. That's interesting.
That phone. So they did, for some period of time, have my replacement cell phone, and who knows?
Yeah, they absolutely
what they did
would
with
have.
it. I know when they took it, there was an active line open to David Yannetti. So I know when 𝗃𝗏 took the phone, there was at least an open line. So while Proctor's reading this to me, the indictment and my rights, he starts pinning my arms behind my back, and I'm trying to move away from him because I still don't understand. I've done everything. I've shown up at every hearing. I'm at my house.
Right.
I haven't broken the law. I haven't driven.
Right.
Why am I being arrested? I did hear the word murder. So there's gears grinding in my head that something's gotten worse here. So he's trying to pin my arms and cuff me, and I'm trying to move away from him. And at the same time, I'm saying to him, I haven't heard the tape, but my recollection is I'm saying to him, can I please have some clothes? I'm not even wearing underwear. I've had a colostomy bag at 4 different periods in my life. So leaving anywhere without pants or underwear or certain materials that I need is of the utmost embarrassment. And Proctor knows this. He said, I did see a clip of him saying she's worried cause I think it was on TV. Yes. He said she's worried what she looks like for the camera.
All right. So we are going to stop. We are 52 minutes into this 2-hour and 24-minute interview. Tomorrow during the day at 10 o'clock, we're doing Daytime Daddy. Okay. So we're going to finish this interview tomorrow during the day, and hump day daytime. We'll start with we'll do the bus stop live, and then we'll do Daytime Daddy. Okay. So let me just read some turtle chats here. See if we have any good turtle chats. Okay. We do have a few. We have Mags Huffy sends $10 and says, do you know if the carpet that was removed from the basement at 34 Fairview will ever be tested? It was not from the basement. The carpet was never from the basement. The carpet was from upstairs. And by the way, they got that carpet because we got a tip that I sent to Karen, and they went and got that fucking carpet, or PI went and got it. But it's too expensive. Didn't you help secure it? I got a tip that there was I got a video sent to me of them doing some labor in the house, and there's a van outside, a white van. We got the plate on the van. I sent it to Karen. She sent her PI down there. They tracked down the van. They got the carpeting, and she has not tested it yet because it's so expensive. It would cost millions of dollars to do that entire thing, I guess. And none of it would be admissible anyway because of chain of custody shit. So I don't know what she's doing with it, but maybe someday. Didn't you help secure it? Wasn't it being stored in a temperature controlled facility? So I hope that answers your questions. I just love Carrie Watkins sends $10 and says, I just love your shows. You're amazing. Please play this live. It's about Hank and Lally. She sends me a link.
Fuck you, Hank. You are not Lally. Fuck you, Hank. Think you're better than me. Fuck you, Hank. But why don't we see? I'm a basic kind of guy. I really don't need a flaunt. Smoking 6 packs a day and I'm happy as a hog. All I do
is this copyright?
Was mumble, do I really need any lungs? The trial one jury was just like me, they were hung. Trial 2 came around and you wanna bench me? Not one guilty vote, was embarrassing to see. Need to remind you that my jury was 9-3. Take your little OUI and get about the scene.
This is good.
Think you're better than me? Fuck you, Hank. You are not Lolly. Fuck you, see? Oh, I know what will get us the win. Ask Rich about his fucking ham sandwich again. That'll prove this beyond all reasonable doubt. Oh, who am I kidding? This shit is around. You took this case so damn personally, and I hold that opinion to a scientific certainty. You weasel face up at 𝗺cie 𝗵𝗺. Even with all the help you got from Beverly, standing ovation. What a robust cross. Psych. Your nerdy ass looks so fucking lost. Just think, $500,000 was all it cost to get our asses kicked in the fucking law. Think you're better than me? Fuck you, hey. You are not lolly. Fuck you, hey. Think you're better than me? Fuck you, hey. Well, why don't we see? Why don't we see?
Hey, how'd that case with the middle school teacher go? I hear you're taking more L's than the Commonwealth.
Hey! All right, that was pretty good. That was a pretty good song. I like that one for an AA. That's good. Fuck. I love pointing out to the antis that Lally was better than Hank. Like, they need to just say that. I've not heard any of them say that. I'm so sick of them not shitting on Hank. They should be shitting on Hank. And that annoys me that they're not. Okay. So anyway, Jimby Swim sends $10, goes, I thought Lifetime made John O'Keefe's character out to be a moron. From photos and texts made public, O'Keefe seemed like a cerebral, jovial dude, not a drunk townie. Yeah, they definitely made him seem like a drunk townie. They did John wrong. They did me right, but they did John wrong. Carrie sends $10, goes, I feel like Karen and Stephanie definitely went over do's and don'ts for this interview, and you were a don't. Interesting. Wait, who's Karen? Oh, Stephanie. Stephanie was way too invested into this case to not want to bring you up. I wish Karen the best, but I'll never be okay with how she did you. #FreeTurtleboy. I mean, so when she did the 3 or 4 episode overview of the Kearney case, she did. I mean, she brought me up there. But you're right. This did not come up here. So I don't know. It is, if that was by design by Karen, if Karen said, I don't want to talk about that, I'm sure she gave her a list of do's and don'ts. And it wouldn't surprise me if that was on there. So whatever, that's fine. I don't care. Doesn't bother me at all. Desiree sends $35, goes, hey, Dr. Daddy. Finally able to catch a live to say how much I appreciate what you've done and how you've grown. I love how you slayed all the ankle biters yesterday on Twitter with 2 words. That's okay. Don't read this part aloud. But everyone is full of advice. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I said that. Somebody like tried to shit on me and be like, I forget what they said exactly. I'm glad you like that. That was the kind of like the drama-free Turtleboy thing. Yeah, this was it. I'll show you this. You know, when I shared that whole Karen's fundraiser thing and somebody like, she's not forgiving you, dude. And I'm just like, that's okay. You know, it's like, I'm not doing this for forgiveness. I don't care. I don't care. First of all, how do you know she hasn't forgiven me? How do you know that both of us haven't had a conversation in which we discussed this thoroughly and we're okay? How do you know that? You don't know that. I would never fucking tell you if we did. Okay. And, but even if she didn't, even if she was like, I still have hard feelings, fuck yourself, that's okay too. I'm not doing this for accolades. I'm not, unlike some people, I don't do shit for anything. I don't do shit to impress her. I don't care. I'm like, that's what they all do. Is like, you know, oh yeah, Karen, pat me on the head, tell me I'm good, I'm raising money, I'm good, I defend you, and I would never call you bad words. That good, yeah, you cool, yeah, you had nothing to do with her fucking the movement or anything like that, but good dog, yeah, good dog. You know, that's the difference between me and them. I don't give a shit about that. I don't give a shit about Karen Reed's approval. That's never meant anything to me, right? I don't care if she wants to be my friend. You know what I mean? Like, my history with her is my history, and you can't fucking erase that. So it is what it is. And that's it. That's it. That's all I got to say about that. All right. Do I have anything else? Yeah. Let me see if I have any cash apps here. Amy sends $10 and goes, Uncle Turtleboy, and they got $76 out of it. Uncle Turtleboy, and they got $76 out of. I don't know what that means, but thank you for the $10. Diana sends $10 and goes, because you made me laugh tonight. Thank you, Diana. That's what I do. Laughter is the best medicine. I appreciate that. Emily sends $5 and says, rant, listen, Turtle, rant, daddy, rant. That made my birthday. God got me all fired up. Well, happy fucking birthday, Emily. I'm glad I could get you fired up there. Anna sends $5 and goes, please have Timu Turtleboy on your presentation. I got to get that dude on here. I got to find him. I got to find that guy and email him and get him on here. I have so many questions. So, all right, cool. Anybody else got anything they want to talk about before we call it a night? Good YouTube presentation tonight. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. We'll see. Just no comment on anything like that. But because that's not going to be content. All right, guys. Anyway, I am going to call it a night, but we will see you guys all shortly. We'll see you guys tomorrow for Bus Stop Live and then Daytime Daddy. We're going to finish up this interview and talk about it, and that's it. All right. Peace to your bum crease. Outie.
Screens glowing blue, got the facts in my headlights. Commonwealth tripping, but the truth stay calm. Morrissey and 𝗲𝗲𝗃𝗃, I'ma read them like Psalms. KP throwing shade from a broke down porch, but the files in my lap like a flame to a torch. I don't raise my voice, I just let the game speak. Steady with the grind while the crooked run weak. We just riding slow, gliding, paper stacking in the breeze. Turn the system up, let the whole town see. No mask on my face, no fear in my lane. I'ma shine that light on the ones bringing shame. From the courtrooms down to the city blocks. They can't hide from the truth, cause the truth don't stop. We just ride a slow grind. Midnight oil burning, pen hit the pad slow. Every word cut clean like the rims on the 𝗵𝗂𝗄𝗃. From Boston to Brockton, the whispers all hum. Turtle boys riding in the reckoning gon' come. 𝗲𝗲𝗃 in the back room, Morrissey on the phone. Trying to twist the narrative, but they can't postpone. I'm just sipping on the facts while the city play pretend. True, got no curfew, I'ma run it to the end. See, this ain't about fame, this about that long game. You can duck, you can weave, but the truth still call your name. We just riding slow, gliding, paper stacking in the breeze. Turn the system up, let the whole town see. No mask on my face, no fear in my lane. I'ma shine that light on the ones bringing shame. From the courtrooms down to the city blocks. They can't hide from the truth, cause the truth don't stop. We just riding slow, gliding. We just riding slow, gliding, paper stacking in the breeze. Turn the system up, let the whole town see. No mask on my face, no fear in my lane.